Hello everyone and welcome to something new on the channel, and it's something a little unique as it's a playthrough of Basketball GM. Basketball GM is a web browser based basketball simulator. The best of all, it is free and it's actually really fucking good. It's a lot of fun to play through as I've just spent the past couple of hours testing out and playing through it, and I've created this fun league here as it's just this one here, the first one that doesn't have a name, as it is very, very cool what all you can do in this game. And the most fun I think I've had is creating a league where it's basically randomized the roster of a Legends kind of database, where every team is randomized throughout with some of the greatest players of all time. It's just a really, really fun playthrough. I did it once before with this here, which actually, funny enough, I just randomly picked the Knicks and they ended up winning it all. Is the team of Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, and they just dominated throughout. They were the best team the regular season. They won the championship. They swept everybody until they got to the finals, which I think they won in 6. Really, really fun. Let's see what happens here with this playthrough, as I have just randomized it. As I see, looks like we have Wilt Chamberlain on this Hawks roster, so we'll just start with the Hawks roster, since obviously we're in alphabetical order. Looks like it's Wilt Chamberlain, Eddie Jones, Kevin Johnson, Mitch Richmond, and Larry Hughes. It's an alright team. Nothing too crazy, as Wilt Chamberlain is the highest overall person in this database. Because obviously this is 64 Wilt, so he's demolishing people, averaging 30, 40, even 50 points a game in some seasons with the Warriors, and really, just dominant. Weirdly enough, his team didn't make the playoffs in my first playthrough that I did. Him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, same team, didn't make the playoffs. Just kind of shows you how crazy that can be. But what's really cool about this game is you can set kind of the settings to whatever you kind of want the game style to be. So for this one, and the one I just did, I set it for present day 2020, and 2021 in this case, but it was just a lot of fun to see some of the guys who probably would have been crazy good in the 80s get even better, i.e. Larry Bird, who's making 11, 12 threes a game and is fucking killing it. But I'm excited to see who else can kind of improve from that perspective. But really, obviously, with the centers and the low post players, kind of seeing them taking a backseat compared to a lot of the more prominent players of today's game, because obviously they're shooting threes, or taking a lot more chances, they're shooting the ball a lot more than what the guys down low are usually doing. But maybe this team here with the Hawks, with Wilt Chamberlain leading it, he's got Eddie Jones to help him out scoring wise, and Mitch Richmond too. Looks like he's got Big Z on the bench there. Is Kirk Heinrichs there, James Worthy way the fuck down there. He's probably never gonna play, which is crazy. As far as kind of overalls go, a lot of people probably be like, wow, 85 is the highest it goes. Yep, that's just kind of where it caps off. There's nobody in the 90s or the 100s or anything like that. As let's see what the Celtics have. Here's Gilbert Arenas, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Julius Erving, Kimball Walker, and Metta World Peace with Dentlin Shrimp as the 6th man. They got Vlade Divac, got Lamar Odom, even Rudy Gobert's down there. Tony Parker, that's crazy. As with Gilbert Arenas being, weirdly enough, the highest rated guy in his team, which is funny enough. You figured, Kareem would be, but that is, 79 Kareem, kind of towards the end of his career, but not, and still he's 32. It's not like he's drifting down in age or anything. Obviously, I think probably prime Kareem, probably Bucks Kareem, but still, that's a fun little team. Their team rating is 115, which from what I've seen, usually teams in the low 110s is usually a bottom of the barrel team. Which, looking at this team, it's quite interesting. You have kind of a little bit of everything. Got Dr. J in Metta World Peace kind of on the side of the wings, and having Kimba and Gilbert Arenas. I'm assuming they'll have Gilbert be the shooting guard, and then with I probably would put Metta World Peace at the power forward spot, but that's an interesting little team. They got a little bit of everything. Interested to see how that one plays out with the Celtics here. It's the Nets. Let's see what they got. Oh, they got Penny Hardaway, AK-47, Artis Gilmore, David Thompson, Jim Paxson. Tony Kukoc is the sixth man. That's a nice little... And they got Del Curry, too. It's a fun little bench. Adds a little bit of everything. Penny Hardaway, kind of, as far as... Obviously, a lot of guards kind of have that same formula of being a scoring... like MVP Derrick Rose, trying to, even Allen Iverson, that kind of smallish... I wouldn't say smallish, but just, point guard that's looking to score more than assist. Usually does okay. I forget how well he did in the first simulation, but AK-47 actually made it on a team that made it to the finals. He's a perfect kind of piece to have on your team. He can do a little bit of everything, obviously. Great on defense, great scoring-wise. He's especially him and Tony Kukoc. That's a fun forward rotation. That's a fun team. It's probably going to be towards the bottom, looking at the ratings, but still. With injuries, you never really know. Someone could get badly hurt, but I haven't really seen anybody get crazy hurt. Oh, there's the Charlotte Hornets. We got Rick Barry and Allen Iverson. That's quite the dynamic. Kevin Martin, Michael Adams, and Elvin Hayes. Jason Terry. Jason Terry was crazy in the first simulation. He had a lot of buzzer beaters for the LeBron's team, which is the Portland Trail Blazers. And that was really helping out LeBron a lot. But this bench is crazy with Blake Griffin and Ben Wallace, D'Angelo Russell, Otto Porter being there. It's hilarious. 2008 Carlos Boozer, as obviously he's not gonna probably even be on in the rotation or anything. Interesting team. They got a lot of scoring for sure. Elvin Hayes as the center would be him and Ben Wallace. I would probably have Ben Wallace start over him instead, but I get it, Yeah, I get it. Let's see what the Bulls have. 124. Oh my, yeah, what a team. As you have Kobe Bryant and Chris Mullin. That's a crazy guard and forward combo right there. And you got Ron Harper, who's kind of the perfect point guard. Can play a little bit of defense. And it's just going to give the ball to Kobe and Chris Mullin, get the fuck out the way. Spencer Haywood on the bench. Josh Smith. Nate Thurman was on that AK-47 team, and I felt like they really blended together. I think he's going to do well here with Kobe and Chris Mullin. Josh Smith on the bench as well. Reece Stokes, interesting bench. I think they'll make the playoffs for sure. I hope I remembered. I made the seeding, the playoff seed 1 through 16. I hope I did the same thing here. If not, it's just going to be East versus West. Yep, it's East versus West. Well, fuck. That sucks. That's no big deal, I guess, as we were at the Bulls. I'll go to the Cavs. It's Oscar Robinson, Sleepy Floyd, Baron Davis, Pascal Siakam, and Draymond Green. It's an odd... And Victor Oladipo with Derek Coleman, Gerard Wallace, as DeAndre Jordan and Vucevic. It's interesting as far as back-to-back centers there. That's an interesting team. As far as Sleepy Floyd was in the top 10 as far as assists, but now with obviously Oscar Robinson, his kind of role is kind of diminished. They have they have 3 guards in their rotation. You don't want to start Gerald Wallace. They should trade Sleepy Floyd for a forward. It would probably be the best course of action there, or even a center, and pair Sleepy Floyd with either Draymond or Pascal Siakam for either a center or a forward, and kind of work from there. Because it's weird. It's a weird little lineup they have. They probably won't make the playoffs because of their weird lineup. The Mavericks, see how they're cooking up. So Bob Cousy and Chris Paul. Interesting backcourt with Bradley Beal in there too, as I guess would be the small forward in this case. You have Iguodala playing the 4 with Paul Millsap as the center. Huh. And obviously they're kind of geared up as far as a lineup goes for a 20-20 type of play style, but that's a lot of what Bob Cousy and Chris Paul kind of defeats the purpose of having both of them. That's another team that definitely should trade Bob Cousy for somebody else. Or Chris Paul. I would probably prefer Chris Paul, obviously looking at potential-wise he's higher, but right now, overall-wise, Bob Cousy is the best guy on the team. I don't see them making the playoffs, to be honest, just the way their lineup is set up, but who knows? That's another thing you can never really guarantee it. Now with it not being an open seed, should be interesting, is the Nuggets with Clyde Drexler, Kevin Garnett, Grant Hill, George Gervin. Wow, that's really the point guard's probably going to be Clyde Drexler. Well, it should be Kyrie. They should replace Kiki with Kyrie. With Kyrie and young Luka Doncic is crazy. You got LaMarcus Aldridge as well. I see Antoine Jamison Baird on the bench as well as Andrew Wiggins. That's a wild team. Yeah, no, that's a team that can kind of do it all. With obviously like Grant Hill and Clyde and George Gervin, obviously they can get to the bucket, but really Grant Hill specifically, kind of the transitional point forward, kind of LeBron before there's LeBron in the league, but with Kevin Garnett in there as well. That's a fun team. That's a very, very fun team. As far as just kind of how everything molds, definitely Kyrie should be the starter, and as far as the point guards go, to make that lineup make a lot more sense. But I don't think I can change that or anything, so that's just kind of stuck as is there. It's the Pistons. Let's see what they got. It's Magic Johnson and Steve Nash. All right. They, again, and with Tiny Archibald, what the fuck is that lineup? With Fat Lip, I mean, are they going to play... what are you going to do with this lineup? Because you have 4 guards and Mark Aguirre. Really, Sean Kemp should be the small ball center. And then you could have either Magic be a point forward and play him at the 4 and have Tiny Archibald play point with Nash as the shooting guard, and then Fat Lever as the, having Fat Lever be on the bench instead. So now you're just trying to change everything up. That's a weird-ass lineup. I don't think that's going to work at all. They have enough talented guys to make it work, but that should not work. That is a weird-ass starting lineup that definitely should be changed around. But, yeah, we'll see. Who knows with Magic? He can maybe carry this one. Oh, boy. As LeBron is stuck with... I mean, Mark Price can work. Tony Walker, a little bit, but it's just Ford City. There's only one guard. His bench is a little suspect as well, with Dave Bing really being his best guard on the bench and Paul Pressey. But that's Eric Gordon's buried on that bench, as is Ricky Rubio. That's I mean, I think LeBron could, at least maybe depending on how the West is looking, might be able to sneak an 8th seed in there, but I don't know. That's a tough little lineup. See what the Rockets are looking like. So, okay, this is a crazy team, but I don't see a point guard either. As Kawhi Leonard, Karl Malone, Michael Redd, Manu Ginobili, and Nick Anderson. That is quite the blending of a lot going on there. Michael Redd is a guy who will put the ball in the bucket. Manu Ginobili, another guy, awesome. 2011, kind of a little out of his, starting the downhill of the decline of Manu Ginobili, as far as he's still got a couple of years left, but it's hanging on by. Donovan Mitchell on the bench, it's pretty crazy. And Jay Rich, Mike Miller as well. They got Zion too. That's fun. That's a fun team. If they could get a point guard, it's another team that could probably use a trade. Get rid of either Cedric Maxwell or even a Sidney Wicks. They got Mark Jackson, which is fine for what they are looking for. They just need a point guard to pass the ball to everybody else, play pick and roll with Karl Malone. But that's a team to look out for. I'd say they have enough pieces I think blend well together. Wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs. Let's see what the Pacers, Jerry West, and Brandon Roy, Isaiah Thomas, 2017 Isaiah Thomas, and not Pistons Isaiah Thomas. Steven Jackson, Axton Jackson, back on the Pacers. Someone better watch out. John Starks, too. Wow. John Starks and Steven Jackson on the same team. Then someone's probably going to get fucked up. But Jerry West with Brandon Roy is... that's another, I guess Brandon Roy would probably play small forward, which is fine. Jerry West would probably be the shooting guard, and then Isaiah Thomas, 2017, Isaiah Thomas be the point guard there. That's him and Jeff Teague as the point guards is kind of interesting dynamic of point guards. I don't, if Jerry West can make some threes out here, him and Brandon Roy kind of get hot type of scenario, they might be able to make the playoffs in the East, but I don't know. I don't think they got enough. We'll see, because there's still some great guys that I have not seen. This is a fucking team right here. All right, so here, Kevin Durant, Moses Malone, Russell Westbrook, Alvin Robertson, and Derek Anderson. Kind of funny, Alvin Robertson and Russell Westbrook, kind of similar play styles. And they got Mo Cheeks, too. Larry Johnson, Hedo Turkoglu, Corey Brewer. That's a fun bench. That's a lot of pieces that kind of mold well together. Yeah, I mean, Durant and Russell Westbrook again together, I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs. That's for sure. For sure. Let's see how the Lakers are doing. All right, Bob Pettit, Anthony Davis, and Kevin Love. They went forward heavy. That's definitely one of those three's got to be the sixth man in that case. And then Doug Christie and Darrell Armstrong, which he was one of the top 5 point guards in assists. But they have Marc Gasol and Sabonis and Richard Jefferson. Andre Miller's interesting. They got some interesting point guards to work with how many guys that can score on there. But Kevin Love, funny enough, played with LeBron in the first simulation I did. And he kind of cost them a big game in the playoffs. Shot 2 for 14. It was terrible. Very, very terrible. But him and Davis, I mean, that's a fun little tandem. They are very, very similar builds. Can kind of do it all. Just Anthony Davis is a lot better off the dribble, I would say. But, I mean, fun tandem, but just Bob Pettit's throwing them off. So I don't know who's going to play, if someone's going to play small forward out of that lineup. That's again, someone's got to get traded type of scenario and get some better pieces to fit that team. See how the Grizzlies are looking. And, Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, Hershey Hawkins, Isaiah Thomas, and Sidney Moncrief. So that's a fun team. That's a team that's actually put together well. Problem is, who's going to play center? I think they're going to probably small ball it and have either T-Mac or Paul Pierce be the 5, which is hilarious to think about, but I guess you could have Nene come in as the center. Actually, really Sabonis, who's kind of buried on their bench here, should probably be the center. But he's a 59 in this, and probably for the best to have him just be buried on the bench. But, I mean, fun team. Fun team for sure. I don't know how it's going to work as far as against probably some teams that are better in the low post, but they have some great starting lineups I think can make the playoffs. And let's see how the Heat are doing. What they got cooking. Oh, my. Well, Giannis and Jay Kidd on the same team. I'm sure that's going to end in a fucking brawl. As, they got Embiid, Steve Francis, and Jason Tatum. They got a lot of guys from current day NBA. I mean, Giannis and Embiid on the same team is kind of strange because they're just, they are kind of, the spacing for this team makes no sense. With Steve Francis and Jason Kidd, very similar types. Just Jason Kidd a little bit better of a passer and more of a distributor and kind of triple double threat. And Embiid and Giannis, basically the same person. Just Giannis can do things a lot more better as far as handling the ball than Embiid can. That's an interesting team. That's Bosch as the six man though is fun. I would definitely have either get rid of Steve Francis and get a guard, an actual shooting guard, because I don't think it's gonna work. There's just too many guys that handle the ball or ball handle centric guys. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs because of that. But I have seen Giannis in the first simulation carry a fucking team to playoffs that had no business to be in there. So wouldn't be surprised if he does that again, depending on how the East is shaping up. So the Bucks, they got Elgin Baylor, Dominique Wilkins, John Wall, Patrick Ewing, and DeMar DeRozan. Man, this team, if they're playing like it's 1987, they're perfect. They have that type of build. But for a team that's put together for a 2020 simulation, the way that style of basketball is played, it's probably not going to go well. They're an interesting fucking team. They got some guys that will get some buckets. They got Melo on the bench. Steve Smith's on the bench. Luol Deng kind of there as well. Tom Chambers looking to dunk on somebody. But, Dominique Wilkins looking to dunk on some people. John Wall, crazy athletic. That's a fun team, though. That's a fun tandem that I just think is going to either be terrible because they're going to be a terrible shooting team, or somehow teams are, when they're missing their shots, they're going to be over there having games where they're converting 50% or more of their field goals and will be setting up pretty well. But I doubt it, though. The way it seems like you need some people that can put the ball in the basket from the 3-point line. So look at the Timberwolves. See what they got. Okay, interesting team of Jimmy Butler, John Stockton, Dana Barros, Alex English, and Dorell Wright. Dorell Wright keeps on somehow making a starting lineup, and it always makes me laugh. Dennis Scott on the bench with Chris Middleton, Ronnie Brewer, and Lou Williams down there. It's an interesting team, because really, again, they got no center. Dorell Wright's probably going to be the center, which I guess is fine for small ball. I don't even think they have a center. It's Kelly Olynyk, so that's not great. Small ball lineups are kind of interesting to figure out, but Jimmy Butler was on the cusp of having his team actually play for the Heat, funny enough, in the first simulation, but he got injured, and it kind of cost him a playoff spot. But now with John Stockton and Alex English, Dana Barros and John Stockton are pretty much the same type of player. Dana Barros is just a little bit more, I'd say, explosive and trying to actually score. I would love to see if they had someone that can play pick and roll with John Stockton, but I don't really see anybody there. But they got some guys that can put the ball in the bucket, though, with Jimmy Butler and Chris Middleton. And Lou Williams on the bench. It's a fun little bench they have. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, to make the playoffs. And we'll see what the Pelicans got. All right, Bob McAdoo, Terry Porter, Walt, and Kenny Anderson and Marquise Johnson. They have no players in their starting lineup from the 2000s. Bob McAdoo's a savage. Bob McAdoo was, I want to say, in the top 10 in points. But they also have Ben Simmons, I see, on their bench with Jabal Mashburn, which he'll be a fun guy to come off the bench for him because they need points. They need someone to put the ball in the basket. Because, like, Kenny Anderson, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Being a low post-centric team usually is not going to play well for you. I don't see them making the playoffs. But maybe Bob can drag them there. I doubt it, though. I would side on the side of caution on that one. In the Knicks, with David Robinson, Jerry Stackhouse, Mike Bibby, Monte Ellis, and Jamal Crawford. What a unique pairing that is. A little bit of everything. Jerry Stackhouse is kind of perfect. Too bad he'll have to play the 4, the way that lineup is set up. And then you have Mike Bibby, Monte Ellis, and Jamal Crawford, which are kind of, Monte Ellis and Jamal Crawford are basically the same person as far as how they play. Walt Frazier, though, being back on the Knicks is fun. De'Aaron Fox, Kenny Smith. My God, they got just so many goddamn point guards. Ryan Anderson's down there. And Kyle Anderson. And Rudy Fernandez. He's not going to play. Willis Reed even back on the Knicks. That's fun. It's fun they got some actual Knicks guys. Yeah, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. But Dave Robinson, though, is usually, from what I saw, he was kind of leading the league in blocks and is kind of was the more dominant center out of a lot of guys that you expected to be on the top of that list, like a Shaq or Hakeem. But yeah, David Robinson and Jerry Stackhouse. I mean, that's a fun tandem as far as actual two-way guys that can do a lot of good stuff. I just don't think it's going to work out for him. Let's see what the Thunder got. Oh my! Well, we found Michael Jordan with Chauncey Billups, Rashard Lewis, Dale Ellis, and Kendall Gill. Kevin McHale's the 6th man, which is funny because McHale was on the Jordan team that won the the championship in the first simulation. did pretty well. Bam Adebayo, too. And Horace Grant. Horace Grant back with Michael Jordan. Jeremy Lin. Fucking Linsanity somehow made it onto this team. I mean, yeah, it's Michael Jordan. You know, he's going to carry this team probably to the playoffs. Chauncey Billups and Rashard Lewis is a fun tandem. Kendall Gill's kind of pointless. They could really use a center. I get Rashard Lewis being the small ball 5, but I think they would do better with actually having a center. But they do have Bam Adebayo. They could probably just have him play, but maybe a better center than Bam Adebayo. There's no disrespect to Bam Adebayo, but there's like guys like Shaq and whatnot they'll have to deal with. So let's see what the Magic got. Oh my. What a team. They got Steph Curry, Bill Russell, Derek Harper, Brent Barry, and Joe Johnson. They got ISO Joe with Steph Curry. That's a fun backcourt. With Brent Barry, who shoots really well. He was basically hovering 50% from three-point in the first simulation I did. Scott Skiles on the bench with Sam Cassell. World be free. All right, they went a little guard heavy. That's probably going to cost them a lot. But Stephen Curry, it's 2016 Curry. He's going to probably drop 50, 60 points in a game. He's going to be a problem. Plus with Bill Russell, that's a fun little... Bill Russell, even though he played in the 60s, obviously, was ahead of his time as far as rebounding goes, kind of the perfect small ball center for today. It'll be awesome with Steph. That's a fun team. That's a team that will put the ball in the bucket. That is for sure. They'll probably make a playoff run. Oh, the Sixers with James Harden, Latrell Sprewell, Kyle Lowry, MVP Derrick Rose, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Jesus Christ, what a lineup. What a murderer's row. It's young Hakeem, like 88 Hakeem, but still, that's a murderer's row of people, and the bench is pretty deep with Paul Gasol, Gail Goodrich, Shane Battier, and Robert Horry. Big shot Bob. Yeah, that's a fun team. That's definitely with James Harden and Sprewell, Derrick Rose. It's a lineup that doesn't make a lot of sense. Sprewell's going to have to play the 4, and James Harden's probably going to have to play the 3. But if you trade Kyle Lowry for more of a traditional guard or even a forward or somebody, I don't even know what you would get. Because their team's really, as far as their bench goes, fills a lot of holes that their starting lineup has. So that's a team that might make a deep run in the playoffs. I'd look for the Sixers to be in the semifinals, to make it that far. I really do. Oh, wow. Wow, that Suns team, that's crazy. They got Tim Duncan, Damian Lillard, Chris Webber, Elton Brand, and Klay Thompson. So a team that, with Duncan and Webber, what a dream 5 and 4 there. But you have Elton Brand, who's playing out of position at the 3. I would switch him for Gallo for sure and have Elton Brand come off the bench with Bledsoe and Michael Richardson, Danny Ainge. But that's a crazy team. That's a team. I mean, you got Damian Lillard and Klay Thompson as your backcourt. Your front court's Tim Duncan and Chris Webber. That is crazy. That's a really complete team. That's a team to watch. That's for sure. If they don't have any injuries, that's a fun team. That is a fun fucking team there. The Trailblazers. Oh, wow. That's an interesting team. With Peja, Sean Marion, Neil Johnston from 1956. And Dame Marley, and then Jack Timmon as that's a definitely bottom of the barrel team. Hate to say it. They got their centers that's a hell of a team from their bench with DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, Amari Stoudemire, and Kristaps Porzingis, having all those guys, and Rip Hamilton's down there. That's interesting. Interesting lineup. I don't think it's gonna be enough. But someone should definitely try to trade for one of those centers. A team that needs a center should definitely ask for the Trailblazers there. Oh my! Well, Larry Bird and Reggie Miller on the same team with Glenn Rice on the bench, John Havlicek and Adrian Dantley. Ray Williams is the point guard. I would get a better point guard. And oh, they got Jason Williams. Oh, my God, White Chocolate. Yeah, throw White Chocolate out there with Reggie Miller and Larry Bird. What a fucking team. Got Jaylen Brown. That's a team to watch out for. Larry Bird's. You having Larry Bird and Reggie Miller on the same team. Good luck trying to stop that. Yeah, that's a easy semifinals appearance there. Oh, my. Well, I believe I found my odds-on favorite to win the goddamn chip right here. Dirk Nowitzki, Ray Allen, Stephon Marbury, Shaq, and Sharif Abdul-Rahim, with Danny Granger, Rasheed Wallace, Brandon Ingram on the bench, with Nick Van Exel, Jermaine O'Neal. Oh my God. I'll throw Chandler Parsons' names in there just to throw it in there, but that's a crazy-ass lineup. Wow. Wow. I mean, that is such a complimentary, having Ray Allen and Dirk on the same team with Stephon Marbury to kind of play the Penny Hardaway role for Shaq. And now you have Shaq. If you got a double Shaq, he can kick it out to either Ray Allen or Dirk. That's a deep team. That's a deep team that molds together really well. I was shocked that Shaq's team didn't make a big run in the first simulation, but I think this one, this Spurs team is going to be awesome. I'd be shocked if they don't. I don't know that a lot of people say Shaq's game can't really translate, but I thought Giannis broke that type of stigma. But like, no, you could be a big man and dominate in today's game, no problem. But it's a little bit different. So this Raptors team, interesting. Paul George, Scottie Pippen, Tim Hardaway, Jokic, and Karl-Anthony Towns. What a weird-ass starting five that blends together so well with Jokic and Karl-Anthony Towns and Pippen and Paul George. Like, just similar players than Timmy Hardaway. I would probably trade Timmy Hardaway for a point guard that can shoot, and that'd be perfect. Joe Dumars on the bench. That bench is kind of weak from what I'm seeing. But, I mean, that's an interesting starting five for sure. They'll give a team a lot of problems, but too bad we're kind of playing it like it's 2020. If this was, 1985, that's a team to definitely look out for, because that's some great low post, high post action with Jokic and Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, that'd be a fun team to watch them run, like, the triangle in the 90s. Like, just everyone's playing like it's the 90s, and no one's taking as many threes, and they're just kind of playing, looking to put the ball in the basket the easiest way possible. That would be a fun team to watch. But in 2020, I don't know. That's probably not going to go well for him. But who knows, though? Who knows? I mean, with the conference settings the way it is, it could work their way. All right, so Charles Barkley, Gary Payton, Gus Williams, Reggie Theus, and then Rudy Tom Jankovic as Byron Scott and Pistol Pete and Rod Strickland on the bench with Terry Cummings as well. Brook Lopez is buried down in the bench, but I mean, a team that kind of it's got a fun bench, but I don't think a fun bench is going to get you far. It might in the playoffs if you make it to the playoffs, and you need that type of play. But definitely a Gary Payton, Charles Barkley pick and roll does sound like a lot of fun. That's a fun team though. That's a team that if you would not want to, that's a tough team to face. As far as trash talking goes, with Charles Barkley and Gary Payton out there. That's a fun, like, all-timeline Stockton Malone, with just Gary Payton and Charles Barkley. And let's see what the final team is looking like with this Washington Wizards team. All right, so Dwayne Wade, Vince Carter, Mookie Blaylock, Michael Finley, and Jack Sikma. Interesting bench, a lot of guards with Conley, Damian Stoudemire, and Ty Lawson, Ralph Sampson's giant ass, and Andre Bargnani, Trevor Ariza, Jose Calderon, we'll throw his name out there too, and Tyreek Evans. That's there was, I forget who Vince Carter was with, that was like, oh no, it's Kevin Durant, and they made the playoffs. I was like, that's a team that's probably going to dominate. Kind of the same thing here with Dwayne Wade and Vince Carter, that they're a little too similar. But at least they have a kind of complete lineup. I think that's going to help them out a lot compared to a lot of teams that are in this. Oh, yeah, I think that's everybody. So just a little, we'll just go to the regular season. And usually I like just going to about the trade deadline first. Just kind of seeing what's going on. A lot happening. A lot going on as we'll look at the standings while we're going. Oh wow, so the Heat looks like they're doing really well, and then the Spurs, Spurs and Nuggets with the Thunder. All right, it looks like the Simmons over. As yeah, the Knicks and the Raptors. Wow, so I was like, oh, the Raptors probably won't make it, but yeah, they're actually doing a really good job. That's a fun team. You know, it is a fun team, so I'm glad that's working out. The Heat, 29-20. The Bulls, and then the Magic. Wow, the Magic, 20 with Steph Curry and Bill Russell. I thought they'd be a little bit higher, so that's interesting that they're kind of just barely making the playoffs. If yeah, you know, obviously, if the plans had been changed to where if you just allow the 16, it's obviously they're not making it because it'd be Portland and or Phoenix. You know, depending, actually probably be rather the Pacers ahead of them instead. So they wouldn't even make the playoffs if it was the 16 seeding. But yeah, they get a little bit lucky. But the Spurs, I mean, yeah, I figured that team was just going to dominate. Just the way they are built, that's a great team. That's a team to definitely watch out for. Makes a lot of sense how they're the top team as of right now. The Thunder, with obviously Jordan getting him through it, as he's averaging 27. Everybody else is averaging, though, 10, 15, even Kendall Gill. So I'm glad they changed to where they had McHale in the starting lineup. That makes a lot more sense. So I'm glad they changed that. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I'm sure that really helped them out, actually. As, well, let's see here. Well, look at the Nuggets, too. As, I mean, the Clyde Drexler team. I wish they would put Kyrie out there in the starting lineup, but he doesn't even average 9 points. Or he's only averaging 9. Luka Doncic's averaging more points. That's kind of fun. That's rookie Luka, 20 years old, just killing it. As, yeah, this Spurs actually the second best. No, it's tied for the, yeah, it's tied for the second best with Grant Hill, which is funny because they kind of have the same game, just Grant Hill a little bit more explosive. That's fun. That's a fun team, though. You know, they got a lot of ball skill oriented guys, and that you can't really beat that, especially in a game that's set in 2020. You cannot beat that. As we'll go back to we'll take a look at the. I'm trying to. Maybe we'll look at the Heat. Might as well, just to kind of see. I mean, yeah, the Giannis, J. Kidd, Embiid, and they didn't really change their lineup. It is what it is. You know, but with a Giannis, wow, Embiid's actually has the per 21. That's wild. He's averaging 16. Tatum's the second most. Jason Kidd just kind of staying at 10 and 10. He's just kind of doing very minimal of what he can do. Looks like Giannis got hurt a little bit as he's only played 41. So I'm sure once Giannis went down, it kind of changed the lineup, opened it up a little bit. Actually probably helped him a lot more than anything. As, we'll look at the stats just to kind of see where everybody's at league-wise. As, Steph Curry with 28, that makes a lot of sense, averaging that much, especially on the team he's on. As it looks like there's no like kind of like teammates. It's all just kind of single. Jerry Stackhouse making the top 10 is crazy. T-Mac up there. Surprised Kobe's not there. As rebounds, Bill Russell with 14. That's crazy. Chauncey Billups with 12 assists. That makes a lot of sense with, you know, considering Michael Jordan's on that list. James Harden, who's the top 3 in points and assists. That's crazy. You know, with Damian Lillard's on there. Magic's in the top 10. Oh, there's John Wall. Only 4 guys, though, with averaging 10-plus assists. Yeah, Wilt with 58 field goal percentage. Oh, John Starks is above 50%. It's fun. Dana Barros is 96% on the free throws. 5 guys, rather. Look at Durant averaging 3 blocks a game. Wilt's got 2 steals a game. James Harden's got 40 minutes. Wilt's got the best per, which is fine because I think Atlanta is literally the worst team in the league as of right now. Pretty sure. Oh no, I was way off. Actually, it's the Hornets. Hornets and the Mavericks. And that's the Rick Barry, Allen Iverson team. That makes a lot of sense. You know, they need a lot of help. Their just lineup is all wonky. They got too many guards. And they need some help as far as getting some of those centers or something. Just something to fix their problem there. And then the Mavericks. Yeah, that's a team that just didn't really make a lot of sense. as far as when you're actually playing like awesome centers, you're gonna get killed. Like that just is what it is. You might as well be on the side of having an actual center than going small ball. As let's see what else we can go for. This is kind of a fun little thing as far as statistical feats. Wow, there's been a lot of them. It just kind of is a highlight of some of the best games. Looks like Michael Jordan dropped 53 against the Wizards in a game that went 128 to 123. It's 10 for 10 from the line. He made 7 threes. He was 18 for 29. 62% field goal percentage. That's crazy. That is a crazy-ass game. Yeah, that's look at the box score of kind of what happened. Dwayne tried to have a shootout with Jordan, but that ain't going to happen. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of... What a fun role Chauncey Billups has. Just gets to pass the ball to Jordan. Let him do his thing. I mean, with Billups, McHale, Lewis, and Michael Jordan, and having Bam Adebayo on the bench, that's a crazy team. Rashard Lewis was minus 20. Oh, Michael Finley was plus 20. Yeah, it looks like Michael Finley won that battle. So, yeah, it looks like just a team that is clicking on all cylinders, especially now with the Kevin Gill injury. As we'll go back to the statistical feats. Oh, it looks like Anthony Davis dropped 51. As while Jordan actually had, with the 53 points, also had 11 rebounds. Double-double. What a game. As even Davis only had 1 3, and he dropped 51 points. That's what 18 free throws get you. That's crazy. Also only played 30 minutes. 32 minutes, which is nuts. That's a great game. And he lost. Dropping 51 points and losing is tough. But he's used to that. He played for the goddamn Pelicans when they had nobody. Yeah, that's a tough team, though, to face, to do that against with that Raptors team. The Raptors team is very, very tough. Man, that's tough. To go for 51, and that team makes no sense. They need to change a lot of stuff, that Lakers team. They just got to change that roster. And that'll be perfect. And then Steph's 51. He was 9 for 9, and he made 8 threes. So it was 50%, 8 for 16. Took 30 shots, which has to be the most out of anybody. At least on this page. Okay, there's only one page, so that makes sense there. As, yeah, Steph Curry. So far, no one's made double digits of threes. I'm waiting. It'll happen. Trust me. They're 134 to 131. That's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, that's a fun game there with the Spurs and the Magic. I don't know why Shaq's taking threes there. 0 for 2. Ray Allen and Dirk going 2 for 11. That definitely cost him. But Sharif Abdul-Rahim almost brought him back. 4 for 5 from 3. Actually, 9 for 13. Was the best guy on the court for the Orlando Magic. Or the San Antonio Spurs, rather. As the Orlando Magic, 51 with Steph. Bill Russell just said, fuck it. I'm getting 20 rebounds, and that's all I'm doing. I'm acting like I'm Dennis Rodman. 3 blocks and 2 steals as well. That's tough, though. He had to take on Shaq all night, so he also had to deal with that. Man, Sam Cassell killed it, too. 10 for 11, 4 for 5 from 3, and it was also 2 for 2. Really, that helped him out tremendously with Sam Cassell off the bench. I'm assuming Sam Cassell is going to be the 6th man of the year, just the way that team is set up. Which makes sense. That's a great 6th man to have. We'll look at the game score just to kind of see. James Harden's had a lot of good games, it's looking like. I mean, how do you go 3 for 14 from 3, but you also have a triple-double, though? He got saved by that. It went to overtime, 140, 135. As, oh, wow. Kareem made a 3 with 3 seconds left to force it. That's fun. Oh, Kareem. That Celtics team, that's a team that I thought for sure would do a little bit better than what they have been. They're 26 and 23 right now. It's not great at all. Well, Gilbert is hurt. Herniated disc. Or hurt with a herniated disc. So that does set them back. Their best guy's out. That's tough. As I'm trying to think what else we can... we can just look back at the statistical feats and just kind of see as far as David Robinson's... looks like he had a trip dub with blocks, rebounds, and points. That's fun. Off 4 shots, or off 4 made shots, free throws get you. That's fun. I mean, you know, that's, well, there's a couple of people looking like it's mostly James Harden. There's a couple of Larry Bird games. He just hasn't been dialed in, I think. But he's been getting triple dubs. It's not enough. Yeah, the Anthony Davis 51 points and losing is very sad. Sad. We can look and see what the award race is looking like. I hate that they always give to Wilt Chamberlain, because obviously with the record, makes no sense. Definitely would be Michael Jordan. I mean, if you're looking at these stats, he's got for sure the points are there, and the record's there. Larry Bird, David Robinson. Dirk probably shouldn't be up there, but I respect it from the record. I think it's probably should be Shaq, should be there. Wilt could give him the Defensive Player of the Year. Looks like Brandon Ingram's actually out, and Sam Cassell is averaging more points, and his PER's better, but you know, the Sam Cassell game definitely, I think, helped him out a lot, though, as far as that big 21 points off the bench. That's an interesting 6-man. Yeah, there's a lot of great guys. Obviously, Kevin McHale, but now he's starting, so he'll probably drop from there. Doncic is there. Nick Van Exel, Jamal Mashburn, Glenn Rice, and then Sidney Wicks. That was Rookie of the Year, not like it matters, but they're going to give it to Larry Bird. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, they're probably going to give it to Wilt, or even James Harden, or maybe even Steph, even though they're, you know, have losing records, or even Magic Johnson, but I think Michael should be it. Oh, looks like, oh, okay. That's weird that they did it like that, so yeah, Larry Bird being first with, Wilt Chamberlain, I guess, and Jordan. Very interesting how that was. Oh, yeah, McHale. Huh, I didn't even realize. I'm glad I saw that. Yes, I think it's onto the All-Star game, seeing how it's looking standing-wise. So yeah, Spurs are at 40 wins already, and there we go. Now we're at the All-Star game, and they do the draft. It's Team Wilt and Team Larry. And let's just see what happens here. Oh, Jordan's first pick. Then Steph Curry and Larry Bird on the same team is crazy. Magic Johnson, and then Dave Robinson, James Harden, and Tracy McGrady, Jimmy Butler, Dirk, Giannis, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Chauncey Billups, Penny Hardaway, Moses Malone, Oscar Robinson, Kevin Durant, LeBron somehow made it that far. Karl-Anthony Towns, Peja Stojakovic made the All-Star. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Joel Embiid. So Clippers teammates, Kevin Durant and Moses Malone being on the same team. I'm trying to think, that's probably the only teammates I see. Yeah. I definitely think the Team Larry team's probably going to win, just from what I've seen, how they're put together. Like, that's crazy, having Steph Curry, T-Mac, Kobe, Larry Bird, Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki, anything that, like, that's just a crazy team. But also, too, I mean, Wilt's team, having Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, James Harden, and Wilt Chamberlain, overall-wise, it's the better team, and LeBron, Oscar Robinson, but there's just too many guys that are too similar. You know, they do the same thing. I think Larry's a lot more spread out, and a lot of guys can put the ball in the bucket, and that's, in an All-Star game, that's definitely all that matters. As I just, you know, like hitting to watch the All-Star game. There we go. We'll speed up a little bit, just to kind of see what's going on. Waiting for the first fucking bucket. There we go. So it's, I want to say it's 150, and then it's, you know, how many ever, I think it's whoever gets to 150 first, I believe, is how this is going. But looks like Larry's team's out to a little bit of a lead. It's still close. Although, there we go. Now we're getting ahead. Looks like Team Larry's going to have at least a 10-point lead for a good while. There we go. I just kind of... Looks like the end of the first will still have Larry Bird's team ahead. Dave Robinson's looks like he's got the most points of the game with 10 right now. Oh, there, Team Wilt's looking like they're making a push to take the lead. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Yep, 35 for the Larry. The 33. Close one. Didn't out the first. And David Robinson. It's 4 for 5. Larry Bird, 3 for 10. 0 for 6 from 3. He did not bring his A game. Even then, they're still ahead, even with his shitty shooting performance. No, there we go. Larry's made a 3. There we go. As, still, David Robinson, I think, is still... Oh, Wilt Chamberlain's tied him. Now, Wilt's now taking that for most points. Wilt's looking for that MVP. He's 6 for 8. He's got 6 rebounds, 5 blocks already. Jesus Christ. Oh, he's got 6 now. Oh, my. That's nuts. As, yeah, still. Steph and Larry Bird not having a great night shooting. How about David Robinson, though? Money with the 1 for 1 from 3. So far, is the best shooting guy on Team Larry. Still close. 51. Oh, now 53, 56. Still, it's going to come down the wire. As well, 10 points from Michael. Michael's starting to get hot. He was 3 for 10, but now he's 5 for 10. He's still 0 for 2 from 3. Wilt Chamberlain should not have shot a 3. 0 for 3 now for Michael Jordan from 3. Oh, Larry Bird's getting hot. He's got 16. Oh, missed a 3. 68-62. As looks like the best game score is definitely Wilt. He's the only person with 20s plus. Oh, looks like we might have a lead change. 68-67. I'll be shocked if they even get to 100 by the end of the third. The way this game's going. Yeah, because, I mean, this is quite the all-star game here. They're playing hard defense. At least Wilt is. Wilt's got 9 blocks. Wilt's going to have a triple-double by the end of the third. And they've taken the lead. 5 minutes left. Wilt looking to get his team up to 90. As yeah, he's got 23 now. Larry Bird with 16. Steph with 13. Larry Bird 2 for 11 from 3. Well, 87. Well, it looks like they are going to get to 100 before the end of the third. Just the way Wilt's going. Man, that 9 blocks. An all-star game. I bet they are fucking pissed. Oh, so it looks like Wilt's up by 12 to end out the third. Well, they're looking for 100. Will they get it? Yeah, they got it. Larry Bird's team is looking to mount the comeback, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And he got his 10th block. Wilt Chamberlain with the triple-dub in the All-Star game. 12 for 16, shooting only 2 assists. James Harden, though, with 9 assists. 9 for 9, 9 assists, 9 points. 1 for 8 from 3. Not a great shooting night for a lot of guys. Steph Curry is getting a little bit better of a percentage. I would like to see him shoot more, actually, but it looks like especially T-Mac should stop shooting. 2 for 13. Same thing with Dirk. 2 for 7, 0 for 3. From 3, as I don't think that anyone's going to make it to... Oh, it looks like it's going to be 124. And I don't think Larry's team's going to make a comeback at this rate. Oh, they made it close. They made it close, but it was not enough. As Wilt with 31, 13 with 11 blocks. Definitely the MVP. That's crazy. That's how you dominate a goddamn all-star game right there. And what's funny is that team will probably not make the playoffs. As we're looking at the stats, Steph Curry's almost averaging 30. Bill Russell's still averaging about 14 rebounds. Chauncey Billups still at the 12. Also at the assist rating. Looking like Wilt Chamberlain's going to finish with almost 60% field goal percentage. John Stark's still averaging 55% from 3. I'm assuming he's only taking like 5 threes a game. Or not even 5 threes this year, rather. As Damian Barros with 96 field goal, free throw percentage, rather, is nuts. Wow. David Robinson almost has 4 blocks a game. That's crazy. Wilt's at 3.5, 3.6. Patrick Ewing and Kevin Durant are just under the 3 blocks a game mark. Wilt's still at 2.3 steals, but Michael Jordan's there with 1.9, as is Moses Malone, Oscar Robertson. James Harden still playing crazy minutes. Wilt's still leading the league in per. As a T-Mac there at the top 10 is fun to see, as is Karl-Anthony Towns. The estimated wins added, Wilt Chamberlain with 13. Offensive shares, definitely Larry Bird with 8, and then defensive win shares, 3.9. It's crazy how much Magic and Larry Bird, how different it is, like from 8 to 6.5. Yeah, I mean, just, he's a Larry Bird. If only Larry could play in today's game, he would have killed people. Like, there's just no other way of going about it. Let's see if anyone, as far as statistically, still the Jordan game is still crazy. Chauncey Billups with a couple 20 assist games. That's nuts. David Robinson's 11 steals there, the 11 blocks, the tripped up game. That's definitely crazy. Will Chamberlain says he has no team, which is hilarious. Obviously, he's on the Hawks and have no idea what their opponent was. I guess we'll have to look. Oh, it was the All-Star game. That's why. That's funny they added that. As yeah, they're 25 and 33. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs unless something crazy happens. So we'll see what it's looking like into the playoffs. Spurs might finish with oh wow, look at the Thunder making a run. Oh, and there we go. We got to the playoffs just like that. The seeding as is, as we'll just kind of look at again the statistical feats just to see. Larry Bird with 54. I knew he was gonna have a game where he's gonna make more than 10 threes, making 12 threes, 12 for 20. 54. Had 14 assists as well. That's fucking nuts. Wow, what a game. Wow, 54. Adrian Danley with 21. Yeah, that's crazy. Also had 2 steals and 3 blocks. Just kind of all over the place. Took 33 shots. Rightfully so, though. I mean, listen. That's the right guy to be shooting. Yeah. I mean, you just having a team with Reggie Miller, Larry Bird, of course they're going to be like a 40-win team. No doubt about it there. Knicks were the best team in the East with 49 wins. Really with David Robinson just killing it, and with the team of Jerry Stackhouse and Mike Bibby, Monte Ellis, and Jamal Crawford. Really, that was just Jerry Stackhouse, David Robinson being a great two-person tandem. And Jerry Stackhouse actually averaged more points, even though the obviously, for Dave Robinson was just holding it down, getting rebounds, blocking, stealing, doing his thing. I mean, that's a really fun team. That's a team to watch out for sure, in the playoffs, being the first seed. And they'll be taking on the Sixers with, that's the James Harden, Derrick Rose, young Hakeem team. That's going to be a fun series. There, that's a fun one. Miami Heat at 47. Obviously, Giannis still looks like he's hurt for one game, but he'll be back, and they're definitely a team also to look out for when Giannis is back. Taking on the Bulls, the Kobe Bryant, Chris Mullin, George Mikan, with, they looking like they're a little hurt right now, maybe. Oh, just Maurice Stokes, but all in all, still a fun team. But I don't think they're going to beat the Heat, though, as the Celtics, that Celtics team, they found a way. I figured they would. With crazy how similar, like that they have 3 guys with 17, with Gilbert Arenas, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Detlef Schrempf. And, with Vlade Divac, Metta World Peace on the bench, and Brad Daughtry also as well. Alonzo Mourning with 18. It's funny that Alonzo Mourning has the best of everybody on the team. As, that's a deep team. That's a team to watch out for sure. That's a tough matchup especially as a 3 seed. I think the difference between the 1 seed and the 3 seed is not that bad, as far as the Celtics and Knicks, if that is the semifinals matchup. That's which I don't think we'll be able to see it, but who knows? Other than the Pistons, the Magic Johnson, Steve Nash, somehow the team that somehow made it there. I don't, if... Well, I'm just kind of looking to see. Yeah, they would not have made it. The Pistons, Bulls, or the Sixers wouldn't have made it if it was the 16 seed bracket scenario. But yeah, that's interesting as far as that note. Looks like the Magic would have been the 16th seed. And the Magic, obviously that's Steph Curry, Bill Russell team. Definitely, I would actually give them the advantage over the Pistons. Well, that's no surprise as they're the higher seed, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than probably people will realize as far as that goes. But we won't know because they're going to play the Raptors, obviously. As the Raptors, with that crazy team of just... I would actually give that to the Raptors because they're a more complete team, whereas the Magic, it's kind of like Steph's got to shoot the lights out to win. They might steal a game or two, but I don't see them making it far and getting out of the first round. Spurs are definitely going to kill the Rockets. I'll say that. Even their team is fun. They're not going to stop Shaq, especially with Karl Malone being out for 5 games. I don't think it's happening there. That's probably going to be a sweep. The Thunder and the Nuggets. Yeah, that's probably going to be another fun matchup, but I just don't see Jordan. Obviously, Jordan's going to kill Clyde. That's going to be a tough one there. Kings and Clippers. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the Kings not losing this game. I mean, they're just... Even though the Clippers are fun with Durant, Westbrook, Alvin Robinson, and Moses, I just don't... That's a fun matchup, though. That's a fun first-round matchup as well. And then the Lakers and Suns. The Lakers are just a weird-ass team. How that lineup works, we'll never know. But, you know, Anthony Davis is the goddamn man. And then with the Suns, they're a more complete lineup. And I would probably give them that advantage to the complete lineup. Fun playoff set. Let's see how the first game goes. As the Spurs beat the Rockets. Phoenix does beat Los Angeles Lakers. And Sacramento beats the Clippers. Oklahoma City obviously beating the Nuggets there. Knicks beating the Sixers. Toronto gets upset by Orlando game 1. Boston beats Detroit. And then Miami beating Chicago. I'm curious to see how this Magic... Wow, they won by 7. And Steph Curry had 49. That's about the only way they're going to win. Bill Russell had 23 rebounds. That's crazy. Paul George, Karl-Anthony Towns had 22, which even then combined was enough for the 49. That's just Steph Curry being Steph Curry there. That's all you can really ask for Steph to get that game. That's crazy. That is crazy. I will go back to the playoffs. As I guess we could have looked at the league stats as far as the awards, how everybody finished up. So, yeah, Larry Bird didn't win MVP. I think that's the right choice. Defensive Player of the Year was Wilt Chamberlain. Brandon Ingram, 6th man, and then, I think everything kind of played out as is. Team stats, it's just curious how that all played out. Field goal percentage-wise was Sacramento. Worst was Indiana at 38. 3-point percentage, again, Sacramento, makes sense. Most threes made, Indiana at the least. As, let's see, average margin of victory, it's actually 5.2, which is, I've seen teams have like 6, 7, even 8 at the end of the season, so that's wild that someone finished with 0 with the Pistons there, right? Smack dab in the middle. Points is against Sacramento. I mean, just Sacramento's just a crazy-ass offense. We know this, type of thing. Brooklyn with 8 steals. And then also with 8 blocks. That Nets team, even though they didn't finish above 500, that's still a very, very good team. I think all things considered, they just kind of didn't have... I don't know what was missing, to be honest, because it seems like they had a lot of great stuff as far as stats-wise, but it just it didn't click for some reason or another. They were, at the bottom of the barrel. With that team they have, it's very two-way, but I thought it would be enough. But in fact, it was not enough, as especially with Penny Hardaway kind of doing his thing. Just wasn't enough. There, as we'll go through next game. So yeah, looks like everybody keeps it going, but we get a split. As game 1 went to the Knicks, 107 to 104. And see if there's a buzzer beater. Nope. As Dave Robinson was 5 for 14, Monte Ellis 5 for 12. Really, Mike Bibby saved him there, looks like, for 7 for 13. And Jamal Crawford, James Posey, 2 off the bench, doing a tremendous job. With 18. Yeah, Mike Bibby, for sure, saved him there. A terrible game for Kyle Lowry, 1 for 7, 0 for 2 from 3. 7 assists, though, almost led the team in assists besides James Harden, 23 and 8. But they came back and won, did the Sixers. James Harden with 42 and 19 and 10. That's crazy. They're getting the triple-dub. And Latrell Sprewell, 31, off of 13 shots, 10 for 13, and was 6 for 7 from 3. That's 18 for 41 from 3 is nuts. That is quite the percentage. That's crazy. That's a fun series. So far, everything's kind of been pretty bleak from what it seems like. We'll kind of go through, Miami killing the Bulls. That one was expected. I'm assuming San Antonio, same thing with the Rockets there. A little Texas collision that's going San Antonio's way. Phoenix and the Lakers. And yeah, I mean, just the Phoenix, just they have a much better roster, more complete roster, so that just makes sense there. And I keep on hitting standings to the playoffs, and then Sacramento, of course. Oh wow, that was actually a close one. That might have been a buzzer beater. Nope, I just squeaked by him. But Larry shot like shit. 3 for 11 from 3, but he had a triple double with 23, 11, and 10. Pretty fun there. 29 points for Russell Westbrook, 21 for Moses Malone. Kevin Durant, just kind of got overshadowed by his teammates. Can't be having that. Cannot be having that. And Oklahoma City probably just killing the Nuggets there. Yeah, pretty handily. Looks like there. And, yeah, Orlando's pulling out another one. 132 to 124 over to the Raptors. Oof, Steph Curry got hurt. Sprained his fingers. Going to be out. But, I mean, the free throws definitely saved him after shooting like shit. But ISO Joe was the best guy, for sure. Unbelievable. Bill Russell double-double with rebounds and blocks. Really, as far as who cost him that one, probably, that's tough, really. Now I'm kind of looking at it, because there's a lot of people that were responsible. Crazy that 3 guys had 10-plus rebounds. Yeah, I mean, that's, Jokic with 4 turnovers is terrible. But he also had 4 blocks and a steal, so at least he was +1 on that regard. I also had the 6 assists. But he just, 5 for 11 is tough. Really, Paul George, 3 for 14. 0 for 4 from 3. Definitely hurt him for sure. And so, yeah, and then we'll, we didn't look at Boston. Detroit, I think, was the last one. Yeah, the Pistons are just, they just don't have a good, team. Actual, team as far as the lineup goes. It's not going to beat a team like the Celtics that's actually a solid team all around. Kareem got hurt, though, which is tough. He's going to be out for probably, a little bit of the next series. But they have Alonzo Mourning, though. So, good for them. We'll see what happens with the playoffs in the next game. Oh, Houston caught one. The Clippers caught one. Knicks up 1. And Orlando looking to sweep, as is Miami. And then the Pistons actually caught one. So we'll look at the Houston game first, because I'm surprised they even had a game over the Spurs. See what happened. Man, Dirk was 2 for 10. Took 23 shots. I don't know why we're not giving Shaq the ball more. I guess there is a bit of a hack of Shaq. It's looking like 4 for 11. I guess free throws really cost you there. 11 for 23. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was the advantage there. Michael Redd shooting the lights out. And Kawhi doing a good job, too. Also had 11 assists, or 11 rebounds, rather, but Mono with 11 assists, 11 rebounds for Carmelo, and 10 for Sidney Wicks. So 6 blocks for Kawhi Leonard. Jesus Christ. He had more blocks than Shaq. What a game for the Claw. Coming back and getting a huge win for the Rockets. Wow, that's crazy. See how the Clippers and a California matchup. They somehow beat the Kings, really. Larry Bird, 1 for 13 from 3. And Reggie was 2 for 8. That's what happens with those 3-point shooting teams. It just takes, one shitty night to kind of ruin a lot of plans. They had 1 more field goal, did the Clippers. Free throws, helped them there. 28 for 37. Kevin Durant, 3 for 4, 3 for 5. 5 for 5 with Russell Westbrook, and Alvin Robinson, 2 for 2. Perfect there. Yeah, that's a perfect team for really to show that you don't have to make a lot of threes to still win in the NBA in 2020. They made a good bit, 11, and took 28 shots from 3. But free throws are going to get you a win every now and again, especially in the playoffs where every bucket matters. It's a good showing there. And, well, I just want to curious to see how the Knicks game went. 125-108. Knicks, that was not surprising there. Orlando again. 125-100. Looks like the Raptors are going to get swept. Scottie Pippen is out. Torn ACL. Yep. They are not going to win now. That ain't happening. Sorry, Chief. Steph Curry, even having an okay game, still, the threes they made 8 for 27. He was 21 for 36. Now there's why you shoot so many threes when you got Steph Curry. You can win a game just off him. As yeah, I mean they're going to be a problem. That's going to be a fun second round matchup, whether it's Philly or New York. And then Detroit catching one against the Celtics, 110 to 103. Gilbert Arenas was 2 for 10 for 3. And Julius Erving taking way too many threes. Dentlin Tripp, 3 for 8. Kind of would love to see Kimba take more shots there. It was 3 for 5, 2 for 3 from 3. Free throws really helped him out, though. He kept it pretty close, 20 for 27. They were 31 for 39, 15 for 38. Yeah, they just more threes. Yeah, that's just some more threes there because the extra threes make it 109, 110. You know, it the other way. If Boston makes that many threes instead, if they go 15 for 44, you know, but there you go. That's threes there. As and then obviously we know what's happening there in the Miami-Chicago series. It's just Miami is with Giannis and just kind of everything going their way. Their starting lineups just people that get buckets, but it's the traditional way of getting buckets, not like Kobe and Chris Mullin, and even it's just a lot going on there as far as just the better lineup in the Heat, just beating the better lineup starting wise. Let's see if we'll have any sweeps. I'm assuming we will. Yep, we got one. We got a couple of teams trying to make a comeback. Houston's now made it 2-2. Detroit's made it 2-2. And Toronto caught a game somehow. As see how this Denver. Wow, 109 to 97. Jordan is a little hurt. Played through the injury, and he shot like shit. Probably should have just sat out, but that's not the Michael Jordan way. Clyde Drexler with 8 points, 8 assists, though. But he was 3 for 17. Michael Jordan just shutting him down. Grant Hill killed it, 9 for 9. With the 1 for 1 from 3, 16 rebounds, too. That's a tremendous game. That's a Grant Hill game right there. Chauncey Billups with double-double as well. But yeah, Kevin Garnett played pretty well. Doncic and Kyrie off the bench doing pretty well. Yeah, Gil had 17. Not bad, but just kind of Kevin McHale. Charlotte was kind of hurt them more than anything. But Kendall Gill, 10 for 10 from the free throw line. It's really good. Really good free throw percentage. And they made more threes. That's just kind of tough. They just, the Denver Nuggets just made 40 shots to 29. They about snuck a one and swept them. Just about did. Yeah, I mean, you figure the Heat would sweep there. But I can't believe the Rockets have made it it's a 1-point game, too. Wow. It looks like Ray Allen's hurt. Sprained his calf. As is Carmelone's hurt. Oh, Cedric Maxwell with the game winner with a second left. That's a big-time shot. He probably came in for Karl Malone, and it just hit the big-time shot. That's crazy. 4 for 6, 12 points. That's a lot of balls. Having the sixth man taking the shot to get the wow, that's huge. That is a Houston legend. Will be Cedric Maxwell if they win that series. And then the Pistons looking to come back against the Boston Celtics, 108 to 98. Kareem's just battling that injury, and it really hurt him there. 3 for 13. Gilbert Arenas shot pretty well, 12 for 22, 29 points. Had the most points out of everybody. Sean Kemp with 17. That's a hell of a performance. Fat Lever killing it. Mark Aguirre. Matt Johnson with a pretty shitty game. Fouled out, had 3 points, 6 assists, and 6 turnovers. Was 0 for 5. Only scored from free throws. And Tiny Archibald's injured. Rotator cuff tonight. That is... Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Pistons are going to come back and win. They shouldn't have won that game. They let that one slip through their fingers in the Celtics. Because they had more points, and they had more threes, but just free throws. They just 34 for 39. That's too many fouls. Too many fouls to give there. As I will see what we got here. Oh, and Spurs take the 1-game lead. Looks like LA Lakers are trying to make a comeback as they beat the Suns 117 to 112 with a great performance from the starting lineup of the Suns, but it just wasn't enough. Kind of all around did their part, but Anthony Davis with 31, 16 for Hornets. Kevin Love with 14, Doug Christie with 16, Andre Miller with 14, and that's 1 for 19. He took 16 shots. Andre Miller should not be shooting the ball that much. Sabonis with 5 for 8, and they also had a double-double. Chip dub for Kevin Love. That's huge. Also double-double for Anthony Davis. Close to one for Bob Pettit. Was a bucket and a rebound away. And then the 126-115 game, Anthony Davis. 10 for 13 from the line. 12 for 25 from the field. 11 rebounds, 36 points again. That just seems to be his kind of bread and butter, the 30 and 10 type of games. Had 6 turnovers, but he also had 5 blocks and a steal. Tim Duncan, 0 for 6 from 3. Should not have shot threes because his field goal percentage was awesome before the missed threes. Klay Thompson was 1 for 6, 9 for 34. Still out. Made more threes, but their percentage was shittier. So at that point, it was kind of pointless. Also had they had more free throws to the Lakers, and man, that's a hell of a series. That's a fun series there. As I keep on doing that, and then with the Spurs game. Let's see, click there. There we go. As Spurs 112-106. Kawhi with 29 and 10. 10 for 26 from the field, 5 for 10, 50% from 3. Dirk, 8 for 16, 1 for 8 from 3, though. Sharif Abdul-Rahim, 1 for 6, terrible shooting. But Shaq was 5 for 10, 1 for 8 from the field, from the line, rather, and then 11 points, 10 rebounds, kind of crazy. Shaq only with 11 and 10. Ray Allen's injury is definitely hurting them, but they squeaked one out. That might cost them the series, though, depending on how this goes. And, obviously the Thunder have advanced. Everybody in the East has advanced, but this Celtics-Detroit series, that's 3-2 now, with the Celtics getting another win back their way. Divoc's hurt. That's definitely tough for their center rotation. At least they have Gobert buried on their bench. And everybody played, which is kind of crazy. That's a deep rotation game of a playoff series. 115-95. Magic shot pretty well. It's 20 and 10 as far as rebounds. I had 8 assists. Gilbert Arenas really, I would say him, Dr. J, and even Kemba, they all collectively, and Dentlin Shrimp. Dentlin Shrimp really was 5 for 6, 3 for 3 from 3, and was perfect from the line. They were 16 for 19 from the line. Really helped them out there. That's huge. It's a great percentage. As then we'll advance and see. Oh, we got a Game 7 in the West. The Celtics clinch it 4-2. The East is set. It's going to be the Knicks versus the Magic. The Celtics against the Heat. And we got the West to figure out what's it going to be. Is it going to be the Suns and the Spurs, or is it going to be the Suns and the Rockets? Is it going to be the Thunder and the Kings, or the Thunder and the Clippers? We shall see. 119-124. Rockets pull one out. Donovan Mitchell got hurt. That's tough. Tore his ACL. Really, as far as the Rockets go, just a great game by Kawhi, Karl Malone, and Michael Redd. It's a great tandem. It's especially Michael Redd and Kawhi. It's very similar kind of play style, but just Michael Redd not as good as a defender as Kawhi is, but they're very similar. Just the way they on the offensive end. And then with the Spurs, now having to deal with no Ray Allen. They got Danny Granger in the starting lineup, who scored 21 points. Actually did really well, but just wasn't enough. Shaq kind of killed him. Shaq is not really scoring at will, which is interesting. He's, I think as far as the playoffs go, he's had some of the worst shots percentage-wise. I mean, nothing you can really do, I guess, with Shaq, because they're going to just hack him and get him to the line. Because everybody shot really well from the foul line, but Shaq. Everybody else was either perfect or, like Danny Granger was 3 for 5, and then Shaq 0 for 2. I mean, it would have been close. Let's say he goes 2 for 2. It's now a 121-124 game and becomes, 3 here, desperate 3, and we win and we tie it and we send it to OT. But Dirk had played a really good game. He just kind of shot, as far as threes-wise, wasn't the greatest. But him and Granger could work well if he can get some help from... like, it's crazy. I'm like, Shaq can help him out. But it's just... So far, the Rockets' tandem of Red, Malone, and Kawhi seems to be better than the tandem of Shaq, Dirk, and now instead of Ray Allen, Danny Granger. Let's see what happens. Game 7. Spurs win and the Sacramento wins. Huge, as Sacramento, they lost 112 to 120 to the Clippers. And they came back and having just a big game, really, from Reggie and Larry, who, they were lights out from 3, 43% from the team, from the three. Was the Kings, also 23 for 27 from the line. They were just perfect. And then on the Game 7 night, Durant was 9 for 27. Really, that's on Derek Anderson. You can't shoot 2 for 10, 0 for 3 from... You just can't. Not at this big of a game. You can't do it. And also their bench, Larry Nance was 1 for 8. Turkoglu was 3 for 9. Larry Bird killed it, even though his threes percentage was shit. Adrian Dantley about cost him, but man, Glenn Rice coming in clutch with 25 and a big 25 at that at 10-14. 2 for 2 from the line. Again, Larry Bird's. Just really the free throw percentage. They only missed 1. They were 16 for 17. That's crazy. That's a tough team, man. That Kings team, I'm surprised it went 7, but that's a crazy team. Crazy team. So now we got the Spurs and the Suns, the Thunder and the Kings, the Knicks and Orlando, Miami and Boston. So really, the only upset being Orlando and Toronto, which if there was going to be a lower seed team to upset someone, it was definitely going to be Orlando. Let's see how this first games go. Phoenix beats the Spurs. Wow, as it's 99-89. The Suns of the complete team of Duncan, Lillard, Weber, Thompson, and Elton Brand did their part. Really, Lillard was the worst guy for sure. 2 for 12, 0 for 5, but at least he was 5 for 5 from the field, from the line, and had 10 assists. 5 turnovers, too. That's tough. As Ray Allen slowly coming back. He played through injury. Probably should have kind of waited. It was interesting attack because Ray Allen coming off injury shot the most. Should not have happened there, and really a lot of guys shot the ball a lot. It just kind of spread it out a little bit evenly. There's a lot of guys, they had 7 guys with 10 plus points, which is great. That's 70 points right there. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have someone like a Tim Duncan who gets 27 and 14, but also has 7 blocks as well. That's a big game from Timmy D. And the Thunder actually lose to Sacramento as 120 to 146. Larry Bird with 37. 24 for Reggie Miller. Adrian Dantley with 19, who was 5 for 9. And Glenn Rice with 14. Red Kerr with 16. Was 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Jay Will, White Chocolate, 10 points. Had 5 assists, too, off 18 minutes. As Michael Jordan, he was in he tried, 14 for 26. Had 39, outscored Larry by 2 points, but just kind of the rest of the team, I don't think really matched what Reggie could do. This is going to be a tough matchup for both teams, because Jordan can obviously carry a team to the finish line, but that Thunder team, someone needs to step up. If it's going to be Chauncey Billups, if it's going to be Charles Lewis, Kevin McHale, someone's got to step up to help negate what Reggie Miller, Adrian Dantley's doing with Larry Bird. Because even Glenn Rice, too. Because I think the seeding, even though it's the Thunder have the advantage in the seeding, the Kings are probably a more well put together team. As we'll see how this Orlando Knicks game went. 111 to 121. As Brent Berry got hurt. He's out for 7 days. Joe Johnson with 19. It was 7 for 12. Steph Curry had 33 shots. Was 3 for 18. Jesus Christ. But somehow was enough. The triple-double with 30 was enough. But really the bench, World Be Free and Sam Cassell really backed him up. Especially World Be Free with 7 for 10. Shot pretty well from the line, too. 4 for 7. yeah, I mean, just didn't turn the ball over either, which is big. But yeah, that's crazy. That could have went bad. That could have went bad in a hurry. But really, World be free. I'm assuming him and Sam. I mean, it looks like Brent Berry got hurt a minute into the game, which is tough. As the Knicks, they just they spread the ball pretty well as far as their starting lineup. Everybody having 10 plus. David Robinson shot like shit though, 4 for 13. You can't be doing that, especially you're a center. Like you're right there. You're right at the bucket. You gotta put the ball in there. Bill Russell doing a great job with his 11 blocks and 14 rebounds and being 3 for 3. Huge, unselfish. His old Bill Russell. He's looking for that ring as Miami and Boston. Miami getting the win, 102-89. He had just Boston. Kareem was 2 for 11. Kemba was 3 for 14. You ain't winning with your starting lineup. 2 guys are shooting like that. Giannis 7 for 17. Joel Embiid though 9 for 14. Had 23 points. Led the team. Led the game actually in points. That's huge. Those Heat teams somehow string it along. Not sure how. See how this next game goes. Oh, well, we got everybody split but Miami. We'll just go reverse clockwise. As Heat 109-96. Again, Kemba kind of shooting like shit. Dantlin Shrimp shot like shit. Kareem was a little bit better, 6 for 9. Actually was probably the best scoring guy out of the starting lineup, even though Kemba had one more point to him thanks to the 3. I mean, the bench did pretty well, except for shooting 3s for Lamar. 0 for 2. Heat, though. I mean, Jason Kidd was 1 for 7. He had 14 assists, though. 11 rebounds, 12 rebounds for Embiid and Antetokounmpo. Jason Tatum with 6 for 10, 5 for 11. Really, everybody shot well in the starting lineup, but J. Kidd. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough one to stop. I just don't know what's going on. That Celtics team's just not really shooting well. And then with San Antonio and Phoenix, Spurs coming back game 2. Klay Thompson's going to be hurt for a game. He sprained his finger. As, he only had 8 points, so 3 for 9 for shooting. Damian Lillard was 1 for 10. Yeah, you can't do that. He's 8 for 8 from the free throw line, but you can't go 11 for 12, or 1 for 10, and have 11 points, 12 assists. You just can't. Especially, Ray Allen's coming back. Oh, but Shaq fractured his ankle. Honestly, I bet they'll still do just fine with Rasheed playing the 5. They might do Sharif Abdul-Rahim, but I would honestly have Rasheed there playing the 5, just to spread it out a little bit more. That's a fun lineup, with Marbury kind of playing a slasher role, driving to the bucket and kicking out to somebody. And because you've seen it there with the stats, going 17 for 22. If everybody can make their shots, like Dirk, who was 11 for 19, Ray Allen was 6 for 9, Granger was 6 for 11. I think they could do really well, even without Shaq. That might have hurt their chances of winning the championship, but I think to make it to the finals, they got a really good shot with that lineup. And then with the Thunder and the Kings, that's a close one, 119-116. I'll look to see if there was a buzzer beater. There was not. Larry Bird was 5 for 12, 13 for 15, though, from the free throw line, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 turnovers, so that is not good. Too many turnovers there. As he only took 4 threes. Interesting. Reggie Miller was locked in. He should have shot way more shots. 7 for 9, 6 for 7 from 3. Might have gave them the chance to win it all. There, as that's a tough performance, but there's Jordan with 34, 11 for 22. Took the most amount of shots and made the most amount of shots. That's domination there. 3 for 9 from the 3-point line and 9 for 10 from the field, from the free throw line there. 19 assists for Chauncey Billups. Literally didn't score but 1 point, but he had 19 assists to make up for that. Kevin McHale was 7 for 10 though. Kevin McHale really saved that one. That's what they needed. They needed somebody to step up, and he stepped up. He's got to keep it up, though, at the same time. There, and then the Knicks catching one over the Magic. I'm assuming that Steph shot like shit. Yep, 5 for 24, 2 for 13. That's what happens there. The ball ain't going in the hoop. The ball is not going in the hoop. You just can't really stop that, but Bill Russell did a good job. 5 for 6, had 17 rebounds and 5 blocks. Really, as far as Joe Johnson was 6 for 10. If Steph would have got his shit together, they might have won. Dave Robinson was 7 for 19. Bill Russell giving him a fit down there. But still, still had 22 thanks to the fouls. Monte Ellis was 6 for 14. Jerry Stackhouse 6 for 12. And Mike Bibby 6 for 6, 2 for 2, and 1 for 1 from the free throw line was perfection for those 15 points. You can't beat that. And Walt Frazier with easy 12 off the bench. Can't beat that. And obviously the Heat are going to probably have another win here. Let's see what happens. Oh, no. We got 2 1s all across the board. As the Spurs win by 4. Or they win by, what the hell? Why does it say by 4 when it says right here it was 110 to 111? What? Oh, I don't know what I was seeing. Nonetheless, 111 to 110 by 1 goddamn point. The Spurs win, and they did start Sharif Abdul-Rahim, and he's spreading out the floor perfectly. 5 for 8, 2 for 3 from 3. Stephon Marbury was 0 for 6, and Ray Allen was 2 for 10 from 3. But Dirk really coming in clutch from 9 for 12 with 27 and 11 rebounds. 5 personal fouls. Damian Lillard was 8 for 20. Klay Thompson 2 for 11. 0 for 7 from 3. Tim Duncan was 1 for 4 from 3. I mean, that's just terrible shooting there. You ain't beating anybody. Even though the Spurs were 8 for 36 from 3, it's just, you can't beat that. Suns had 2 more made shots. But the Spurs had about 10, well, not even 10. Had a couple more free throws, and that won them the game there. Was free throws, if I had to guess. As the Kings and the Thunder, the Kings have taken the lead. Jordan was 7 for 20, 3 for 10 from 3, 6 for 9 from the free throw line. As he had 4 steals and 4 blocks. That's huge. Had 23 points. McHale again stepped up huge. Chauncey had a better game. Bam Adebayo had 13. What happened? What's going on? Oh, Larry Bird had 38. That's what happened. He was 8 for 15 from 3. Reggie Miller was 6 for 10. That's tough. Havlicek was 4 for 6. Dantley and Glenn Rice shot kind of shitty. But it just, fucking 23 threes will get you the win every time. That's crazy. That's a tough one for the Thunder. And then the Magic take a win from the Knicks, 104 to 97. Mike Bibby with the most points, tied with Monte Ellis. Dave Robinson and Jerry Stackhouse kind of shit in the bed in the playoffs. 3 for 11, 5 for 11. Mike Bibby with a huge game, really bailing those guys out. And Steph with 31 was 5 for 20, 12 for 37. Joe Johnson was 1 for 8. ISO Joe killed him. That just wasn't enough. When you have someone go 1 for 8 in your starting lineup, it ain't gonna happen. Just ain't gonna happen there. They made more shots, did the Magic, but 1 more 3 for the Knicks. And also, and then the Magic even had more free throws. That was a game the Magic should have won. And then with Boston, they caught one. With, they went to overtime. See if it got put in. Oh, Tatum forced it with 15 seconds left. So someone must have missed to send it back to have further game winner. Must have missed it. So Giannis was 9 for 19, 0 for 2 from 3. Had 21 points. 25 points for Embiid. We have 15 points for Kidd, 17 points for Tatum, 25 for Gilbert Arenas, 22 for Kemba Walker. That's huge. Didn't live shot like shit, but he only, well, I say that. He really didn't. Really, it was Julius Erving. Honestly, the person who shot like shit was Better World Peace. Denlin Shift was 3 for 5. He was fine. He should have shot the ball more, to be honest. But they just didn't score enough. Compared to like everybody else that was in the starting lineup, everybody had like double digits, but him. Meta World Peace shot like shit, but Brad Daughtry with 4 for 4. That's huge off the bench. Huge, huge, huge. Let's see what's happening here in this next game. So, wow, we got 2 2s across the board, but the Sacramento Kings look like they're going to send Michael Jordan packing. And, I mean, Rashad Lewis went 2 for 12. That pretty much summed up that one. They only lost by 4. 7 for 14 and 6 for 13 from 3 for Reggie Miller and Larry Bird. That's huge. More threes. That's more threes and 1 more shot made for the Kings was the decider there. As a man, this is crazy. This playoffs has been a lot more jam-packed. Wow, the Suns with 140. Wow. Timmy D with 29. Klay Thompson with 26 and 21 for Damian Lillard, even though he's 1 for 7 for 3. But man, Tim Duncan was lights out. Klay Thompson lights out from 3. Just those two alone, almost had more threes than the San Antonio Spurs. As Ray Allen was 1 for 6, Dirk was 0 for 5 from 3, 3 for 8 as a whole. Without Shaq, I don't think it would have mattered even with Shaq, to be honest. But yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to lose right there. Oh, so what? It's standings great. And then we're down with the Knicks and the Magic as 117 to 102. Knicks stealing one. Jerry Stackhouse is hurt. That's tough. Don't want to hear that if you're a New York Knicks fan. And Mike Bibby coming off of having a great game to a shitty game here. Dave Robinson coming in clutch, though, showing why he is the man with a triple-double, 23, 16, and 10 blocks. As he played 40 minutes, too. That's crazy. Steph Curry was 6 for 12 from 3, 9 for 25. Bill Russell with 2 for 9. That is not good. Joe Johnson, 4 for 11. Derek Harper, 5 for 13. And, man, that ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. You ain't winning with that. That ain't happening. It just ain't happening. And with the Boston Celtics, 116 to 99. Gilbert Arenas coming in huge, as was Kareem. Dylan Stripp, too. Even though he shot like shit from behind the line with 1 for 6. Everybody else really did a good job shooting 18 for 23. The free throws and just having total shots made definitely helped them out. And also, too, the shitty shooting performance from the Heat. 5 for 22 from the three-point line. Will not get it done. And even though Giannis had 45 and 11, comes down with the loss. Just didn't have enough. Didn't have enough help there from his team. And just like that, man, we just keep it rolling with more. Let's see if Sacramento will be the first team to clinch a spot. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. It's 4 for 1. Yep, they did it. And Sacramento is the first team to advance. Spurs are up 3-2. Knicks are up 3-2. Miami's up 3-2. So look at the Spurs. Somehow, they're finding a way to win, even without Shaq. As, man, Damian Lillard really shot well. Chris Webber kind of fucked them, looks like. Yeah, it looks like Chris Webber kind of cost him that one. And Klay Thompson. 3 for 8, 3 for 10. That can't get it done in the starting lineup. Especially when they shot really well. Of the ragtag team of the Spurs with Dirk and Ray Allen leading the charge. Even though Dirk and Ray Allen were 3 for 17 from the three-point line. It does not matter because they were 26 for 29 from the free throw line. And they still made more threes, even though... And they made 2 more shots. So just all in all, they weren't going to lose that one. Wasn't going to happen. By a goddamn miracle. That's what threes can get you. Get you that one. And the Kings clinching the win, sending Michael Jordan packing. Oh, and Jordan shot like shit to end out that series. That is tough. It's tough. Larry Bird, though, 13 to 9 assists. Reggie Miller with 23 outscored Larry Bird. I mean, it's funny that John Havlicek's kind of in a perfect spot where he just has to take like 4 or 5 shots, and he's just got to make sure those shots go in, and he's pretty much sealed like the team win. But Red Kerr and Jaylen Brown off the bench did really well. That's really, as far as all I could see. That's all I saw there. What happened there? It just Larry Bird, Reggie Miller. That's a tandem that you do not want to face, is what that comes down to. The Knicks, after they split, they lost, they won, they lost, they won. And back and forth, but finally back-to-back wins. 3 points over the Magic, and it was a game-winning 3 from James Posey. Wow. James Posey. 6th man again, making a big-time shot. Huge. 3 for 5, too. Awesome. What a 3. What a legend. That is huge. As Steph 14 for 28 was 5 for 12 from the three, 36 points. Bill Russell with 2 points. That stuff was 1 for 7, but he had 20 rebounds. 8 for 13 for Joe Johnson. That's a great game. It was 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 1 for 2 from 3, 19 points. That's a solid 19. Him and Sam Cassell. That's kind of crazy that the Magic lost. But that's what a crazy 3 gets you. Jerry Stackhouse shot really well. So did Robinson. So did Monte Ellis. Really everybody but Bibby somewhat. Bibby was just 2 for 9 from 3. Just shot too many threes. But James Posey, what a huge game. Picking up the slack to what Mike Bibby did as they both scored 16. But that's just a better performance there. Even though Sam Cassell and Westfall, with 14 points off the bench. Just Bill Russell's 2 just kind of killed him. Crazy, Bill Russell cost him that game pretty much. That's tough. Tough to really digest that, to say out loud. It's Miami, 94-75. Boston just doesn't have a chance. They're too inconsistent, really, with Kimba, Julius, Detlef, Shrimp, and Kareem. Which right now Kareem and Gilbert Arenas, really Kareem was the best guy on the floor for the Celtics. They just can't do it. They again, not against this Heat team that have. It's crazy. Steve Francis was 1 for 11, and Jason Kidd was 3 for 11, but they somehow still won thanks to Giannis's 24 and 18. Was 11 for 17 from the line as well. Giannis is just a fucking freak, as we all know. He's putting in even this all-time roster, which doesn't really compliment him. He's still like, put the fucking team on my back. I will carry us to victory. I don't give a shit. Crazy. We'll see if we're going to have any Game 7s, or if we're going to the play. We have our semifinal set in the Western Conference. Finals, we have San Antonio Spurs taking on the Sacramento Kings. That is a fun matchup there. That's some high-scoring affair, is what those games will be. And we got 2 Game 7s, both in the East, with the Heat and the Celtics, and the Knicks and the Magic. That fucking Steph Curry Magic are not going to go away that easy. Let's see, what 119-85. Yeah, I think the Suns just kind of gave up. Which sucks, because they were a great team on paper. Just Klay Thompson. Elton Brand also got hurt. There's a lot going on. You know, they just had too much shit going on. Timmy D tried. Even then, like, that's just a shitty game by everybody on that Suns team. But Stephon Marbury really doing a good job. I think Shaq's injury was kind of a blessing when you think about it. It's shitty to say, because I want to say he got injured. Let's see what game it was. If it was this game here. Yeah. So it's this game. He plays 21 minutes. He did okay, but really his free throws kind of cost him more than anything. After that, they won 3 of the last 4. And really, their closest, they had the crazy win, 111-110 there. But other than that, it's been pretty handedly. Also, the handedly lost, too, as well. But that's a crazy team. That Spurs team, even without Shaq. Just crazy to think about. That's going to be a fun conference finals there. And the Knicks and the Magic, 87-94, kind of low scoring. Crawford got hurt for the Knicks. That's a tough blow. He shot the ball way too many times. Monte Ellis was 2 for 12. Mike Bibby was 1 for 9. Mike Bibby, after having a crazy-ass game, has been the shits. He's been terrible. He's been shooting not great at all. Really, the whole team didn't shoot well. That's why they lost. Steph Curry, just by himself. 7 for 18 from 3, 12 for 27 at 37. Yeah, no, that's just, you can't really beat that. Bill Russell, 5 for 8, though. There he goes. He got 10, 15. That's what they need from Bill. And Joe Johnson with 6 for 17. Shot the ball a little too much after coming off a really great shooting performance last game. And really, the bench stunk. And they about cost them the game. The extra 3s saved them. It really did. That's crazy. Like, they would have not, they've been up by 1 if not for those extra 3s. That's just crazy. Crazy to think about. As in, the Heat and the Celtics, 107-99. And here we thought the Celtics weren't going to capitalize. Wow, Gilbert Arenas went down first, after the first quarter, basically. 9 minutes into the game, goes out. And they somehow get together some type of winning formula, really just playing meta a lot more, and playing Lamar Odom a little bit more, Tony Parker a little bit more. It's an interesting formula, but it looked like it worked, even with Kareem and Julius Erving shooting 3 for 10 and 2 for 12. Just terrible. Kimbo really saved him there. It really, actually, what saved him was free throws. 23 for 25, 22 for 31. Also, more threes as well, obviously making more shots over the Miami Heat. Giannis, he tried, but everybody shot like shit but Joel Embiid. Embiid, 29 and 11, 30 and 12. It's crazy how somehow Embiid and Giannis, even though they play basically the same and they have the same stat lines pretty much every night, they complement each other so well. It makes no sense. As we'll see what happens in this Game 7 matchup. And it's the Magic and the Heat. Wow, we got Florida versus Florida. And we got California versus Texas. It would have been funny if the Lakers would have made it this far. It would have been California, Florida, and Florida. Game 7. Magic coming out. I mean, Steph shot the ball 35 times. Joe Johnson was 2 for 12. Really, Derek Harper and Brent Barry saved him by shooting the ball really, really well there. And even, Sam Cassell was 1 for 7. Dave Robinson shot his heart out. 9 for 14. 22, 10, and 14. That's a triple-double. They still lost. That's tough. That's just, really, that came down to probably threes. Yep, that was just threes there, because Knicks had more free throws, but the Magic had more shots made and more threes. Academic from there. Making their playoffs is the Magic, and now we got a Magic and Heat. Eastern Conference Finals, Miami Heat 116-101. As Giannis doing his thing, even only playing 10 minutes, which is fucking crazy. I don't know what happened there. Giannis only playing 10 minutes, and yet the Embiid Tatum kid matchup, that three-headed dragon that became. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You get rid of Giannis, and then Joel Embiid's able to cook and go for 26 and 19. 29 points for Tatum. Steve Francis shot like shit. What else is new? Bosh did pretty well off the bench. 16 points, really coming in big after Giannis. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. It's not like he's injured or anything. I'm not sure what exactly happened. And Gilbert Arenas really shot the Celtics out of that one. 7 for 19. Julius was 8 for 17. Meta World Peace was 1 for 7. Not a great night. Not a great night there for the Boston Celtics, who fall to the Miami Heat. And now, let's see what happens in the conference finals. The Spurs are up 1-0, and the Heat are up 1-0. As the Spurs go up 123-114 over the Kings. Not a bad shooting night for Larry Bird, who had 37 and 12, but I don't think it was enough because of what Adrian Dantley did. Adrian Dantley didn't really score that much with only 4 points and only shot the ball 3 times. Really, it was... Glenn Rice had 10, but he was 4 for 11. Havlicek did pretty well, actually, upping up the scoring. And then Reggie Miller was 4 for 12, which stunk, but he had 10 free throws, so at least he helped him out there. It just was not enough. Wow, 10 for 10 from the line. Threes were really Ray Allen. That was the Ray Allen game. Even though he got outscored by Larry Bird, he was 10 for 20, and that's huge. And also... 5 for 11, 6 for 13. It was very, very close, but that's a fun game, though. You got Ray Allen and Dirk. You got Reggie Miller and Larry Bird. It's a shootout. It's a fun one, too. That's a lot of fun. Dan Granger, actually, again, did pretty well. That one was on Adrian Dantley, really. On that one. And then the Heat and the Magic, the Battle of Florida. In the Eastern Conference Finals, as the Heat beat the Magic by 8. It's the Magic... fall short, thanks to really Steph's poor shooting, and also Brent Barry's poor shooting. 4 for 15. 9 for 20, though, from Steph. At least he had 25, but him and Joe's 19 just wasn't enough. But the bench did really well. 3 guys scoring in double digits. And, that was a great job by their bench. They tried to save him, but just the Giannis train was coming through with his 34 and 17. Jason Kidd was 16 assists and 11 points. Had a double-double, even though he shot like shit. Embiid, 23 for 11. Jason Tatum almost had a double-double, 25 and 9. Just that team, it's It's a well-oiled machine now, it looks like. That Heat team's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be very, very tough. Especially, depending on who wins. No matter who wins between the Spurs and the Kings. Both teams kind of rely on their jump shot ability and their threes. And that's kind of how they win. Whereas the Heat, they're the exact opposite. They're looking to just get the ball in the bucket. And it's working. It's going to work for their advantage until, unless somebody gets injured or something, which I doubt that will happen. Well, we got a split as Sacramento comes back and they kill the Kings. Goddamn, Larry Bird killing it for 10 of 16. What a great shooting performance. Adrian Dantley with 8 for 14. Another great shooting performance. Havlicek and Glenn Rice. Really, Reggie Miller, if he didn't shoot like shit, they might have beat him by like 150 to 94. Something like that. Like, if he makes like a little bit more shots, that's a crazy game. Yeah, they didn't have a prayer. Did not have a prayer. Dirk shot like shit. Ray Allen shot like shit. Granger shot like shit. Van Exel was 3 for 12. Yeah, the best guy on the was Brandon Ingram. You can't be having the best guy on the bench in the playoffs. You can't have that happen. Your starters have got to actually beat their other starters. Then the Magic, I'm assuming Steph. It was Steph, yeah. 7-14, 17-28, had 44 and 11. Also had 4 steals. Bill Russell, 3 for 7, had 8 points, but 6 blocks and 13 rebounds. Brent Berry shot pretty well. Joe Johnson shot like shit. But he got saved because the Heat, with that, shitty 3-point percentage, thanks to Steve Francis and Jason Kidd, was 1 for 9. Giannis tried it. I mean, this is just a battle between Giannis and Steph, which is, crazy, because they're completely different players, just as far as their play style and how they go. Giannis is the athletic 6'11", 7-foot freak who's trying to dunk the ball every fucking time he gets the ball. And Steph Curry, one of the best small guard players ever, has reinvented the game of basketball and changed the way people thought of the game. Thanks to his incredible three-point shooting. They're just a fun finals, or fun conference finals, rather. Not just a fun finals in general. As we'll see what happens in Game 3. Sacramento and Orlando getting the win there. Sacramento, 125-97. As Sharif Abdul-Rahim is injured. That is tough. That center position is just cursed for the poor Spurs. Yeah, Marbury killed him. Dirk shot like shit. Ray Allen shot like shit, besides free throws. Really, they got saved by their free throw percentage. Granger, Dirk, Ray Allen, perfect from the line. Made that a little bit closer than what it could have been. Larry Bird made 10 threes. He had 38. No one was even close to him. That's just Larry Bird gonna Larry Bird it. And let's see, the Magic, I'm assuming Steph Curry on Steph Curry it. 110-135. Even though Giannis had 37, Steph with 39 thanks to 9 threes. He even made more field goals too. He only missed 6 shots. That's fucking crazy. He had 12 assists too. Giannis just can't catch a break. His teammates. Jason Kidd's really fucked him. I'd say Steve Francis has as well. Tatum actually didn't shoot all that well. That kind of cost him that game. But really mainly Kidd. Because, Bill Russell, sure, he only has 1 point. But he's got 16 rebounds. Like, he knows his path of how to win. Getting those boards and kicking it back out to Steph and letting him shoot. Like, he knows this. He knows the game plan. And it's giving the ball to Steph and just getting the fuck out the way. It is hero ball to the max. And they have 3-1s across the board. Kings are looking... Wow, they win by 3. Wasn't by a buzzer beater or anything like that. It's Ray Allen. 6 for 14, 8 for 24. As 6 for 14 from the three-point line. Really, Dirk shot really well except for his threes. I think if one of those threes goes in, it's a whole nother game, obviously. But 24 points for him, 23 for Ray Allen. 22 from Brandon Ingram off the bench. Doing a great job as a sixth man. Really proving why he was the sixth man of the year. Shitty game from Larry Bird, but he gets bailed out by Reggie Miller. And even Ray Williams off the bench. That's just a tough game for Larry Bird. He shot like shit, but he had 13 rebounds and had 9 assists, too. He just finds a way, man. Like, even if he's shooting like shit, he can still benefit his team by getting rebounds and kicking it back out the guys. Ray Williams really saved him there, though, with his great shooting from the line, behind the line and at the free throw line. Also, Jaylen Brown, even though he's 4 for 10, 4 for 4 from the line, helping him out there. Free throws really was the benefactor at the end of the day, and the threes. That's a tough one. Tough one to lose for the Spurs. That was their game for sure. Magic and the Heat. The Heat lose 109 to 94. Giannis doing a good job, but just nobody made a fucking three. And that's, 1 for 27. Unreal. 3% 3-point rating. Unreal. You ain't beaten. Steph Curry literally couldn't even need to take a three. Like, Brent Barry could have been 2 for 2. And it's still more threes. Like, it's just, you ain't beating a team with 1 for 27. It ain't happening. From three. It's not going to happen. I think it's going to be a Kings Magic Finals. Let's see. Oh, well, hold on now. Might have a comeback coming as Spurs and the Kings, 118 to 110. Yeah, Larry shot okay, but really it was Dantley and Glenn Rice fucking them there. And Sharif Abdul-Rahim coming in clutch with the 15 off of 7 of 8. Granger shot like shit. Brandon Ingram took 16 shots. Took the most shots of anybody on the floor for the Kings. That's crazy. 16 points. Somehow at a +1. Dirk with 17 rebounds is crazy. 18 and 17. That's a huge game for Dirk. Yeah, that's a hell of a game. Hell of a game there. And with the Heat coming back against the Magic for 135 to 128. Yeah, that's what they had to wait for. Was a kind of shitty performance from Steph. But really, looking at that stat from just the Magic, I'm like, oh, I'm surprised they lost. Because really, Joe Johnson played like crazy at 29. Steph with 41. Everybody had double digits in the starting lineup. See what happened. Oh, man. Tatum went off. Yeah, Tatum, Giannis, and Embiid. What a fucking performance. And Jason Kidd was at least just there to pass the ball. Steve Francis was just being a piece of shit. With the 6 turnovers. God, he's the worst. Like, just play... I don't know who you play, though, from their bench to, like, fill in for... I guess you could have Doc play instead, but... Like, they need, like, a guard or a forward or something. They definitely need a 2-guard instead. Yeah, that's a tough performance. Tough performance there for the Magic, because they played their fucking hearts out. Just was not enough. Are we going to get Game 7s, or are we going to get the clinch? We get clinches, as Sacramento beating San Antonio, and Orlando beating Miami. And just like that, hey, we get franchises who haven't won a championship before us. That's fun. As Sacramento winning 113 to 82. Would that have game been different with Shaq? I think it would have helped them out a little bit. But I think in the grand scheme of things, probably not. I don't know, though. At the same time, you're looking at that lineup, it's like, well, who the fuck on that team's going to stop Shaq? You know, and it changes up the game a lot. Instead of having to deal with Sharif Abdul-Rahim, now you have to deal with fucking Shaq out of that group. It's tough, because who you going to put on Shaq? Are you going to put Dantley? Are you going to put Larry Bird on Shaq? Like, that's interesting. Sure, that's a mismatch for Shaq defensively, but fucking offensively, too. I mean, that's a mismatch. I don't think Larry's going to stop Shaq. That's a different, because, then, Larry, the only time he's gonna have to foul to, get out of that. It's just, that would have created a mismatch nightmare. So, that'd been an interesting one to run back if Shaq was not hurt. But that's the way she goes. It's the way she goes there. And the Magic beating the Heat 134 to 128. Poor Giannis. He tried. He fucking tried. But Steve Francis was the fucking worst. And, Steph, crazy. 12 for 18, 7 for 10 from 3. No, it's 37. Still, Giannis still had more points, but just... What it really came down to was who was going to be the best third guy. Because you knew Steph and Giannis were going to go off. So who's going to help out? Is it going to be Joe Johnson? Is it going to be Brent Barry? Is it going to be even Derek Harper for the Magic? And then obviously for the Heat, they have a lot of different more options. They can Tatum, Embiid, maybe even Bosh, but really Embiid and Tatum really helped them out well. In that game, really Jason Kidd, but he just took too many shots. He shouldn't have shot the ball 14 times. I would have loved to see that game but Kidd did make a lot of threes, but really it's just the Steve Francis effect. Steve Francis fucked them. Cost them everything, did Steve Francis. And now, the championship finals. Sacramento wins game 1. As 122 to 105. Curry kind of shoots shitty. Really, Brent Berry was the worst, though. Russell with 4 for 6, 10 points, only 8 rebounds. 6 assists and 6 rebounds for Steph. 22 points. Yeah, I mean, but Russell was minus 33. That's crazy. Reggie Miller was 9 for 13. Wow, Reggie Miller. That was kind of a shitty game for Larry Bird. Really, that was the Reggie Miller game there. 6 for 10 for 3. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a big game for Reggie. Jaylen Brown also coming in clutch with 23 off the bench. 21 for Paul Westphal. Yeah, it's an interesting game. Seen I don't know why I did that again. Nope, let's go back. Supposed to hit this. There we go. We're gonna get 2-0. Nope, we're gonna get 1-1. It's Magic getting the win. See what Steph did. As 144 to 119. Dear God, the Magic kill him. Joe Johnson with 6 threes, 4 threes for Brent Berry and 7 for Steph Curry. 21 as a team. Everybody shot extremely well for the Magic, besides really Sam Cassell and Michael Williams. It was 0 for 2. I mean, that's crazy. 38, 33, 22. That's a crazy game for the Magic, and no one even gets to 30 for the Kings, as Larry Bird, 8 for 13, actually shot really well. Really, Adrian Dantley just shot the ball probably too much, 9 for 18. It's not great. Jason Williams, 1 for 6. White Chocolate fucked that one up for him. That's tough. That's a tough one. Because, I mean, they were just locked in. It was the Magic. They were ready to rock and roll. See what Game 3's looking like. Magic take that one as well. Going down the first game, coming back and winning 2 straight. 138 to 118, very much like this last game. Just they didn't score as many points, and the Sacramento Kings score 1 less. So it's, again, pretty good scoring, but really from Bird and Reggie and even Havlicek. Not really Havlicek, a little under 50%, but Dantley and Rice kind of hurt him more than anything. 14 threes for the Kings, but the Magic coming in with 22. Bill Russell had 6 points, but 19 rebounds, 4 blocks, 10 assists for Steph, even though he kind of shot like shit. Still at 28. Derek Harper coming in clutch with 33. What a big game for Brent Berry there. 9 for 10, locked in. 4 for 4, and 3 for 3 from the three-point line and free-throw line. That's nuts. That's a great game for Brent Berry. That's the Brent Berry game. In game 3 there to give the Magic the 2-1 lead. As the Magic go up 3-1 with one more game left, 135 to 127, very close. Very, very close. I mean, the Kings, they gave him a hell of a shot. Bird and Reggie did a great job from behind the line. Havlicek shot pretty well. Really probably came down to Ray Williams and Adrian Dantley kind of throwing that one for him. Jaylen Brown shot pretty well, 4 for 7. And, free throw line, they were 20 for 21, damn near perfect. 44 shots made. Steph Curry, though, 5 for 13, didn't do great. And Joe Johnson shot 3 for 7. But somehow, Bill Russell makes a 3, and Derek Harper, 6 for 8. And the bench doing a good job as well. That's crazy. Steph with 31, Derek Harper with 28, 14s for both Bill Russell and Joe Johnson. That's a huge game for Bill there. And really, Bill Russell and Derek Harper were the big driving forces, I think, as also Paul off the bench, being the 6th man, and even Sam Cassell. Those 4 were the big factors of winning that one for the Magic. Because, Steph kind of shot him almost out of the game. Just at least free throw wise, they shot the ball pretty well. Just a couple extra threes, a couple more extra shots. That's all it took. And now, is it going to be the end? Will the Orlando Magic be this simulation winner? Or will somehow Sacramento crawl back into it? They do. It's 2-3 now. 120 to 115, close one. Steph, 8 for 19, 11 for 33 as a whole, had 34 points. Joe Johnson shot the ball pretty well, 8 for 15, 21 points. With Derek Harper with 19 points, 5 for 9 from 3, 7 for 12. Brent Berry and Bill Russell Bill Russell, 23 rebounds, 6 steals, and 4 blocks. Crazy. He had 9 points still. Crazy. He's the only guy in the starting lineup, at least for the Magic, to have a plus, as he's plus 17. Really had the best game out of anybody on the Magic, for sure. He tried. Didn't really shoot well, but everything else he fucking killed. Sacramento, though. Even though Larry Bird was 2 for 11 from 3, and Reggie Miller was 3 for 7, they still somehow found a way to win. In with Jay Williams. Fucking Jason Williams. White chocolate. 1 for 4, 1 for 5 as a whole. Terrible. Just absolutely terrible. But somehow Jaylen Brown with a plus 14 and Reggie Miller with a plus 22. Wow, that's crazy. Off of 15 points. I don't he rebounded pretty well with 7. Danley though with 12 rebounds and Larry Bird with 10. Also had 8 assists, obviously, and 5 blocks for Larry Bird. Larry Bird is all over the goddamn place. Even when he shoots like shit, he can still take control of a game and still have the best performance on anybody. But this is going to be interesting. Whoever wins this series, who's going to be the MVP? Because for the Kings, I definitely say it's going to be Larry Bird. But Magic, I don't know. It could be Bill Russell. The way these games have been going. Because the Bills have been playing great. The problem is when he plays great, they can't win, though. So that's why I think it's probably going to end up being Steph. We had a game, though. 2 for 3. Are the Sacramento Kings going to come back and make this? Oh, my God. We have a Game 7. Sacramento being down 1-3. Down 3-1. You fucking come back and win 2 straight to make it a Game 7 in the finals. 116 to 108. Sacramento, 3-point wise, looking like they didn't shoot the ball well at all. 4 for 10, 3 for 8. Glenn Rice was 1 for 1, but then Ray Williams was 1 for 7, who seems to constantly keep on shooting them out of games. 34 and 30 for Reggie Miller and Larry Bird. Larry Bird coming up short, but Reggie Miller doing a great job. At least he didn't shoot well 3-wise, but everything else he did to perfection. 32-36. Yeah, Steph Curry just didn't really shoot the ball all that well from 3, but everybody else did. Derek Harper, 3 for 5. I guess nobody, Joe Johnson, 2 for 7, 2 for 6. Brent Berry, then Paul was 1 for 5. 3 for 12 as a whole. Yeah, Paul kind of shot him out of the game there. Sam Cassell tried to bring him back with 9 off the bench, but it wasn't going to be enough. Bill Russell, he had 12 rebounds. And Reggie Miller had more rebounds than Bill Russell. That's crazy. 4 blocks. It wasn't going to be enough. It was not going to be enough. It all comes down to this. I think we'll be able to watch it. I think. So we'll watch it. We'll see what's going on. As we got Steph Curry getting a foul. Brent Berry, rather, dunking. And getting a foul as well. It's an and 1. We'll speed up a little bit. A little too slow for my liking. As the Magic got a lead. Well, I did have the lead. Looks like it's going to be back and forth to end out the first. As still the starting lineup for everybody now. Everybody's switching out. It's 26-19. We got 29-26, 32-20. Oh my. We'll slow down a little bit. Now it's getting a little too fast. There we go. It's a little bit more my speed. Alright, to end out the first quarter, 34-28. Steph with 13. It's 2 for 3 from the 3-point line, 5 for 8 from the field, doing a great job. Really, just got 3 turnovers. We also got 3 assists. He's got the best game score for anybody on the Magic. Really, I'd love to see Joe Johnson shoot the ball more. So far, that seems to be what I'm looking for. Bill Russell got 5 rebounds already. Larry Bird, 3 for 7. Reggie Miller's 1 for 2. Adrian Dantley's 3 for 4. Glenn Rice 2 for 4, and Ray Williams is 2 for 2. Not bad there. So far, the best game score is Larry Bird. John Havlicek's in the... Actually, Adrian Dantley's got the best score. Havlicek's in the negatives already. That's not a good sign. As we'll see what happens in this second quarter. Still close, 34-30. As I'm curious to see how the final score is going to go. Because it was kind of like this at the beginning of the All-Star game. Then they just kind of took away that was an All-Star game. It's a lot different. As Sacramento taking the advantage, 44-14, looking to take the lead. Oh no, that's not looking good. Sacramento's. Oh no, there we go. Now they're drifting away from them. A couple of threes. It looked like. Oh, now Magic are pulling the comeback together. Looks like there we go. As Sacramento 58-50, 60-53. It looks like Sacramento's gonna have the lead going into the half, getting that lead back after losing out in the first quarter. Oh god, we went a little too fast. All right, so yeah, it was basically 65-59 to and I mean it was. We're only like 4 seconds into the second half now. It's Curry with 7 for 13, 2 for 5 from 3. He's got 17. Definitely the best guy on the Magic team. No problem. You know, that's a no-brainer there. Bill Russell kind of hasn't done jack shit. He pretty much has the same stats he had in the first quarter. Derek Harper, even though he's shooting well, he's got a -10 on the plus-minus, so his guy must be kicking his ass. And I'm assuming that guy would be Larry Bird or Reggie Miller. Larry Bird, 6 for 11, 2 for 4 from 3. 14 points. Adrian Dantley, 5 for 8, with 16. And Glenn Rice actually in the negatives. He must be the one that's guarding. I'm not sure who he'd be guarding, to be honest. I'm looking at maybe Derek Harper. Maybe they're both guarding each other. That's an idea. Maybe. I'm not sure. Not really sure on that one. Who he's probably, because I don't think he's guarding Brent Barry. Maybe he is guarding Brent Barry, but I wouldn't suspect that being so much of a negative. Who knows? Either way, he's the only one with the negative. The game score still has Adrian Dantley as the better guy, which I get because 3 for 3 from 3. He's got one less rebound than Larry Bird. But Larry Bird's just, I don't know, with the 6 assists and the 6 rebounds, I feel like, and he's got a better job defensively with an extra steal. Does have 3 turnovers, but I just feel like he's having a slightly better game. It's close, though. It's 13.8 to 14.2. It's very, very close. Jaylen Brown, 2 for 2. Doing a good job off the bench. And, yeah, let's get back into it. As 71-61. 74-63 for Sacramento, which, I mean, if Sacramento can hang on to this lead, but that's easier said than done, especially against a Magic team with Steph Curry who can light it up in an instant. 9-point game. There we go. We're rocking now with the Magic, 74-79. This is going to be a close one to end out the third. Out there, Sacramento with a point. It looks like Larry Bird made a couple of free throws. 85-74. Is Sacramento going to be able to come back after being down 3-1 to the Orlando Magic and getting the win? It's looking like it. 90-77. It's not looking good for the Orlando Magic. As I'm surprised Steph hasn't shot more threes. He has only shot in 7 so far, and he's made 4 of them. I suspect there'd be a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Now we're at the end of the third. 97-83. Yeah, I mean, Steph, he's got 26, or 25 rather, as he's got 25. Brent Bear's doing a very good job as his second leading scorer with 19, but nobody's really close. Derek Harper's kind of behind him with 9. Joe Johnson's 2 for 8. Bill Russell has got 6 points, 11 rebounds, 3 for 4. But obviously, this is not a sinner's game. Larry Bird, though. Oh, my God. Larry Bird, 11 for 19. 5 for 10 from 3. 5 for 6 from the line. 32 points. Definitely has the most points out of anybody. And Adrian Dantley still panning it away with 19. Glenn Rice, actually, with 13, has got more points than Reggie Miller. As Reggie Miller's only taken 4 shots. I'm not sure what's going on over there. So I would love to see him take more shots. It's a damn shame that Ray Williams has more points, or LA has more shots thrown up than he does. And Jaylen Brown's close to being behind him, as he's they're tied. And Jason Williams is 2 for 3. He's got 5 points, and he's even got 2 assists off of his 7 minutes, coming in clutch off the bench. They just it would be quite poetic to see Jason Williams get a championship ring on the Sacramento Kings, but seeing Larry Bird and Reggie Miller, what a great shooting tandem. But it ain't over yet, though. Look at this, a Magic team coming together. But Sacramento's pulling away. I don't know why. I don't know who I'm really rooting for. Both teams, I think, kind of well-deserved. Sacramento just had a crazy team. Crazy fucking team with kind of what they all had. I think Adrian Dantley was the perfect complementary piece for them. Might make it a 10-point game. Can the Magic do it? Well, yes, they have. 10-point game with 7 minutes left. We got 96, oh, the 106. Oh, the 107-96. Sacramento doing a great job. 90, oh my God. Oh, okay, let's pause it. 102 to 111. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. So Steph's attempting a free throw. He's probably going to make it because of Steph Curry. Yes, that's good. And he makes a three-pointer. Oh my, it is 105 to 111. 4:44 left. Steph Curry's starting to shoot up some more threes. 7 for 10. Derek Harper's 3 for 4 from 3. I mean, if this one comes down to an Orlando Magic loss, definitely going to be on Joe Johnson. But there's a huge 3 from Joe Johnson. As I say that, at 108 to 115, let's slow down even more. As Reggie Miller is trying to get some Steph going. There's a layup from Steph. It's good. 110 to 115. Steph blocks a 3 somehow, and then he gets the layup, which is good. 112 to 117. Adrian Danley with a low post shot that goes in. As Derek Harper with a 3, it's good. 115 to 117. Reggie Miller with a 3, that's going in. 120, 115. Steph going for a 3, no good. As now Glenn Rice with the defensive rebound. Reggie Miller looking for another 3. It's no good. Minute 22 left. Reggie Miller somehow got the offensive rebound after the missed 3. Dantley's looking for a low post shot. It gets blocked by Russell. Minute left. Russell, after the block, snags it. Looking to feed it to Paul, who loads it down on Reggie Miller. And it's a foul. 1:18 now with the made free throw. Glenn Rice for 3. It's no good. 53 seconds left. Joe Johnson with the rebound. Look at it. Oh, but Steph turns it over with 48 seconds left. Glenn Rice looking for the mid-range shot. And it's good. What a shot for Glenn Rice. Holy shit. What a terrible turnover for Steph Curry. Might have cost this team the game right there. Brent Berry looking for a mid-ranger. It's no good. That has sealed it. Larry Bird with the rebound. As Danley looking for dunk it. Oh, and it's good. What a dunk. Bill Russell turns it over to end the game. And we have one of the simulation. The Sacramento Kings. As, man, that was crazy. What a fucking game that was. I thought for sure the Magic were going to come back and win. Somehow, the Kings weathered the storm. Steph Curry with the turnover was tough. That's tough. I mean, it's a 118-120 game. And if he doesn't turn that over, who knows what happens. That's a tough one. 9 turnovers for Steph Curry. You can't have that. You can't be doing that. I love the confetti. That's a nice little fun touch. And it's even the colors of the Kings. That's even more fun. As Larry Bird, 13 for 22. I'm assuming he'll be the player of the game with his 38 and 10 with his 6 assists as well. He almost fouled out. That would have sucked with his 5 fouls. That's just a tough one. What happened? I just don't know what happened with Steph there with the turnover. I would love to have known what the situation was for the turnover. Just said he turned the ball over. I don't know if he tried to pass with somebody. I don't know. It just happened to poor Steph there. All right, the all-time leagues, just kind of looking through everything and what was going on. So the Sacramento Kings obviously winning and Finals MVP went to Larry Bird. No surprise there. So the best record in the East was the Knicks and then the Spurs. MVP for the league being Larry Bird. No surprise there. Defensive Player of the Year, Wilt Chamberlain. Brandon Ingram with the 6th Man of the Year. I think that was well-deserved. So the all-league teams, the first team, Larry Bird, Dave Robinson, Wilt Chamberlain, James Harden, Michael Jordan. It's quite the team. As the second team, Magic Johnson, Giannis, Stephen Curry, Chauncey Billups, thanks to the assist to fucking Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant. And then the third team, T-Mac, Dirk, Anthony Davis, Ray Allen, and Dwayne Wade as an all-time defensive teams. Wilt Chamberlain with the first team, all defense with him, Michael Jordan, Dave Robinson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bob McAdoo, second team. Moses Malone, Bob and Bill Russell, Artis Gilmore, and Nate Thurman. And then the third team, Kevin Garnett, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and AK-47. And no one really cares about the all-rookie team because, well, that's kind of useless. And thank you all for watching. This was quite the idea, just kind of on a whim. I was like, this is so much fun. I'm just going to record it and see what happens. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all, if you want to see something else from this game, because there's so much you can do. and it's a lot of fun. I haven't even like played as like a team. I've just kind of done like just sims of stuff and just kind of seeing what all happens, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for sure, and I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I do. As I would take care, everyone.